This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. If you take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want. If you take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
You can't handle the truth. Truthless, my style as a juvenile, ran with a gang, slang in the meanwhile. Self Love.
I'm just a kid from Chicago.
Vision.
I'm just a kid from Chicago.
Yeah, buddy. Chi-Town is in the building.
Just a kid from Chicago.
Southside, baby.
Trying to make a way in the game of life, trying to make a play.
I'm just a kid from Chicago.
Back against the
Are you
wall,
not
never
edutained?
I'm just a kid from Chicago.
Ye shall be entertained henceforth.
Just a kid from Chicago.
We're going to ratchet up the entertainment. We're going to ratchet up the edutainment. Right here. Welcome to Chi-Town's very own, the Self Love Show. Right here on earth, as it is in heaven. And as we say, as above, so below. You can find us right now on YouTube, on this channel. This ain't that network, man. This ain't that. This ain't that network. TATN. Yeah, wait till I get my gold teethus. Hey, this is your co-host, 9 Mills, or 9 Millie, also known as Self Love. I'm from Atlanta, of the drug dealers and kidnappers. What down, Chi-Town? What down? Today is J6, January 6, 2021. So I got 2020 in the rearview mirror. We could be any place in this vast universe. Thankfully, we all Scooter chose, big up Scooter, chose to be here together. We all chose to be here together. Yes, sir. Let's see here. What down? What happened, bro? I thought you got lost.
Self Love Vision.
Hey, what you manifested today, bro? What you manifested?
Love. Self. Love. What you manifesting, self?
Love, famo. Love. How's life on the south side today?
It's a little hectic for a brother today, running and doing what I do on a daily, Mom's gotta take care of Mom Duke, so
Man.
she calls.
Are you talking about Mom? Lock her up. Lock her.
Oh my God. Something I did? Oh, hell no.
I mean, it would be a deterrent. Would that be a deterrent?
No.
Would that be a deterrent?
No.
It'd just make you feel hella guilty. You're in jail. Your mom's in jail.
You need something, if you got to make something happen, what are you supposed to do? I'm just saying.
Well, it's going to force you to take the plea that we're already taking. But
yeah,
I digress, though, man. We got a guest today, and this guest we've been looking forward to since our initial guest, right?
Yeah, his brother.
And yeah. And so his big brother put it out there that we could have the potential to get knowledge born on the show. And so here we are today, right? Self Love.
Yes, sir.
Man. So what's in it for the Self Love Nation? as always, we're going to talk to this gentleman about how he moved, where he grew up, how he moved into Chi, and maybe he can give us some tips and pointers. And then for all of our youth who might be out there struggling or looking for different ways to put money in a money bag, this is part of what Self Love and I stand for. He's a positive image of an African American male, in our opinion, and so we're shining the light on that. And
Absolutely.
So that's right. We're going to shine the light on the light, and he's going to talk to us about his current, businesses that he has going and things of that nature. And this is just, I mean, he's rubbed elbows with people, but Self Love and I, we don't get into a lot of that, but
no, it's all good. We all put our leg, put our pants on one leg at a time. So
as far as I could tell, but I do want to say, send a get well out to Face, man.
What happened?
Scarface, bro. He had got the covert, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, I did. I did hear that. I forgot.
And as a result of the covert, he I guess had total kidney failure and all of that, bro. He's on dialysis and stuff like that, man. He said he said he had the covert, he beat it, and then he said it just came back and just so that brother, man.
That's what I was wondering the other day when I told you I was feeling out of body.
Yeah.
That's what I was wondering. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah. I hear you. When you were saying that, I knew exactly where you was coming from, because, I had some funny feelings too. Maybe they ratcheted up to 5
G-H-I-K.
Yes. The right before
L-M-N-O-P.
Yeah. The 5-7. Can we say 5-7? Because 7 is the 7th letter. Yeah, the 5-7. So, but if there's any entrepreneurs out here, anyone in the promotions, anyone has that type of expertise, we'd like to hear from it in the chat. Also, let us know, where you're from in the chat. If you're from the city, what part of the city? Self, I think you got some business you be handling.
Yeah. Before I even handle that, can y'all hit like, subscribe, share, hit the bell, make sure you get every time we go live or post a video, you'll get notified. It's very important for the algorithm to feed us to other people, and new people get to see our situation. And it's very important. I got a little housekeeping to take care of. And then after the housekeeping, I need you to pay close attention to our platform, the More Growth and Development. See you in a bit. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
In entering upon this course of instruction, each of you should, so far as possible, lay aside for the time being all previous theories and beliefs. By so doing, you will be saved the trouble of trying all the way through the show to put, quote, new wine into old wineskins. Stand up, Chi-Town, stand up. Chapter 5, verse 37. If there's anything as we proceed which you don't understand or agree with, just let it lie passively in your mind until you have enjoyed the entire show. For many statements that would at first arouse antagonism and discussion will be cleared and easily accepted a little farther on. After the show is over, if you wish to return to your old beliefs and ways of living,
you are at perfect liberty to do so. But for the time being, be willing to become as a little child. For
Facts.
said the master in spiritual things, quote, except ye become as little children. Ye shall in no wise enter into the kingdom of heaven, end quote. Matthew chapter 18, verse 3. If at times there seems to be repetition, please remember, the Self Love Show is a lesson, not a lecture.
Silverback More Growth and Development Platform. Number 1, repair our nation via reparations. We demand our silver back.
Absolutely.
Number 2, to connect our breadwinners with our activists.
Yeah, we got the breadwinners in the building.
Show an accurate depiction of African American Chi-Town.
Accurate.
4, to shine a light on positive influence. 5, heal our community one person at a time. 6, to provide an unfiltered platform for our influencers. 7, recycle the black dollar. 8, to provide mentors for the mentorless. 9, to close the gap between us and our pink kinsmen.
Let's get her done. Get her done. I gotta get that gap closed, people. We all know that that's fluid. That is fluid. So if anyone has any input, we are all ears and brain, correct?
Absolutely.
Man. So yeah, just want to touch on, if you guys didn't check out our Tuesday show, we had a great show on a greater show, I should say, on big slavery. We kind of touched on, its origins, the profiteers, and who's been repaired, meaning the slave owners have been repaired over time. Has slavery ended? Are we still slaves? Were we ever slaves? Or are we prisoners of war? And if we still have a slave mindset, then does it follow that the pink people have a master mindset? Would that not follow?
I would say so. Especially by their actions.
Correct. That we call privilege. It's a master mindset.
Absolutely. No one can deny that.
Yeah. So if anyone's interested in that, this check it out. It's on TATN. Like, subscribe, share. Self Love and I, we're busting our keisters to bring top of the line, uncut, quality content out here, from the South Side of the Chi. And we'd hope that, we'd have some, some West Siders and some North Siders. And is there East Sider, Self? Is there East Side?
Well, I guess where I'm at, they would say is over East.
Yeah.
You either out South, out West, up North, or over East.
It's true. Yeah. Yeah, over East. You ain't lying. You're right. You tell them where you live, so, oh, you live over East.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Out South, out West, up North, and over East. It's tripped out like that.
It is tripped out. Because even if you say like Hyde Park, they'd be like, you over East. You tell them you're in South Shore, over East, but it's so further. It goes even further east than that.
Yeah, it really does.
In the alphabet
further.
city,
Yes.
Those historically, what do you call them?
On the way to
Latino
community.
Yes. Yep. As you're getting towards Indiana to get the cheap tobacco products and gas. The tax.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Well,
So
I get my gas, I tell you that.
Hey, so we were going to run, I had a video, man, that was about tyranny, because, that's what we be on, stamping it out. you know, but you got these, I guess the Pride Boys or the Proud Patriots. Is it Pride Boys?
Proud? I don't know. You know,
well, they're having a Proud parade, and they, I guess, stormed the U.S. Capitol. So that video we had next in the series, we're not going to run it. The one about the Minnesota police body cam. If you can drop down to the next to last video, not the Scooter chose, but there should be one.
Senators escorted.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and run that one, and then we'll give it some blah blah, and then we'll get this show on the road, Noop.
Absolutely. Let me see.
Yeah,
give me a couple seconds here.
Take your time. I can just imagine what they would have done.
Get past this. These.
I can imagine what they would have done, Noop, if we'd have pulled this at the Million Man March.
Well, they would have shot us. I mean, you know, unapologetically, they would have shot us. I mean, we just keep it real. We keep it 100 on the Self Luv Show.
Well, who was president at the time? Was it Bush?
Okay, so
there's some trivia. There's some trivia, huh? I want to say Bush.
Yeah, because he was 92. And
because if it was a Democrat, they would have came out shucking and jiving and trying to take credit for it, right? I feel like if it was a Democrat, like Clinton would have came out and played the saxophone and probably
he was 96, so yeah.
I
don't know if any of them would have came out with Farrakhan putting it on though. So
true.
There is that.
But you remember it got kind of washed where it wasn't just a Farrakhan movement. Remember that they were able to put some other people out in front of it to take some of the Farrakhan sting out of it. Yeah. But you ready? Yeah. So let's just roll it.
My challenge today is not about the good people of Arizona.
And it will stand in recess until
he's a Klansman. Look at this dude.
We'll pause.
You can't tell me he's not in the KKK. Look how fast they move, Self, but they wasn't moving that fast to get those stimulus checks out.
Hell no.
Look how fast they can move, man. Wasn't we just talking about this when I was saying locally? Right?
Fact, yesterday.
Yes. Now, these people haven't been enslaved, right? I don't know what their gripe is all about, the major gripe. I mean, they have a reason to be upset politically, I guess, right? Just like some other people were upset.
If you work in a team, you've got to try Monday.com. Go to Monday.com and manage all your team's work on a powerful...
That was the end of it. So, yeah. I mean, like the way other people got upset after Trump won. I didn't see anybody storming the Capitol building and doing any of this.
Nah, not at all, because, you know, it goes back to murder.
But you know what the narrative is? Who's the president, you know, on his watch? You know what I mean? The law and order president. You've got these people storming on your watch, Mr. Tough Guy. That should be the narrative, right? Because if this was happening on Obama's watch, or they'd have been calling everybody soft.
Bloody murder.
Demanding that they kill all the protesters or lock them up. So Biden is not president yet. So this is all taking place on Donald Trump's watch, and he's weak and soft, and he needs to get some law and order. He needs to maintain the law and order.
Told them to go home. He said about us, you know, get tough out there, and you got to get the police out there and got to do something about this unlawfulness.
Well, yeah, he used an old Daily phrase. What was it? When they get the sticks, we get the blicks, or something. Remember?
Man, something crazy.
They start looting, we start shooting. That's what he actually said, and that was quoted from Big Dick Daley, the original Daily.
Man. So I guess it doesn't matter if they, you know, loot the Capitol, huh?
As long as it's your people, as long as they're holding. See, we have to just learn how to move. So basically they're setting a precedent, Self, that you can just get a Donald Trump sign, right? Or am I naive? You and I can start waving Donald Trump signs and the American flag and go into the city hall down there and no?
If there are too many of us, not gonna work. I don't care what you got on.
Well, even if there's say 100,000 black men with Donald Trump Can we do that? Will they let us?
We're wearing this. So we're wearing this. It's going to be an issue with us.
I got you. Yeah, and while we're here, I just real quick want to explain why we got because we got to get this going, this flag on. In fact, I'll save that for the next show. Because we're running on time. So enough with these appetizers, good bruh.
Man, feel my thirst.
Hey man, I'm excited. So Self, when you get around to it, whenever you can, let's go ahead and run this promotional video we have, and then I'll start the intro, and then we'll get this thing going because they're not here for us; they're here for him.
No doubt.
Yeah, we got to get Trife on the show, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, RNA Trife.
That's mandatory,
man. RNA Trife. I'm just trying to figure out if he's I'll talk to him. I'll talk to him later.
No, and it is because of our effort toward getting straight to the root that people oftentimes think we.
Face. Knowledge bomb. What's the science, baby?
Hey, we digress. And like you said, you don't have to see it because I already know your mind be, on that. But next week, bro.
What we got next week?
We've got this brother mentioned that knowledge is power. Yeah. Yes.
No said. Oh man, that's gonna be a great. Oh my God, his brother was the first
from the NBA were under his mattress. He didn't really. He was a
facts.
Yeah. So yeah, achievement runs in that family.
Shit is wicked out here. Niggas got problems. Nothing the God can't solve. What's the nigga's resume?
Fast, but fear really doesn't live in me, and so I get started. Right, I get started because I'm not one of those folks that get frozen in terms of I got to have all the information. So oftentimes you don't move at all.
Knowledge, and this guy, he rubs elbows. No fear in this
conversation that we was having in the whip earlier today. We was talking about the Tupac movie, and we was talking about some of the things that might be missing in the Tupac movie. And you said, man, me and Pac got so much fucking music together. Speak on just the relationship and the music. I mean, we never looked at each other like
adjust the volume, lower the volume, please.
We were each other's favorite rapper, which we were. We were just friends.
Man, Self Love Nation. Knowledge. Beckham. Yeah. I mean, they respect him. He respects them. He got his, earned his undergrad degree in beta entrepreneur. Y'all might know it as University of Illinois.
Chicago.
He was actually a pole mark at the chapter. Noops. Yo. He earned his degree there while there in business administration. Professional highlights. CDW, account manager, sales leader. PCM, director of sales. Code 42, strategic channel account manager. Entrepreneurial or ownership, which is what we're about. He did Heaven on Earth Entertainment. Also, One Experience. What's Funny Entertainment, as you're seeing Lil Rel on the screen right now. Urban Wire TV. Game Changer Capital. Classic Hip Hop Lives, which is right up my alley.
Mine as well.
Man, and the Droppin Knowledge NetworK, where he has a podcast, and y'all need to check that out.
Most definitely.
Yes, sir. Talk about shining the light on the light. That podcast is pretty much about Black excellence, I would say, achievement and success, right? How to get a money bag.
Yeah.
Because you are what you think you are, and you are what you're thinking about.
Absolutely.
And last but certainly not least, the Woodlawn Holdings, that's his entity that they do for the realty, Chicago Realty, which, we're going to do a show on that in itself. So we got Knowledge Beckham. So Self Love, if you can put that volume back up a little bit while we he's get tell us how he moved the welcome
and
for this good
can't wait to
brother.
expand, because this network, Self Love and I, this
And we're gonna
nation,
get him in here
we
now.
got a lot of people behind us. We out here naked, sir.
All right, Self, you can
All
go
right.
ahead and
We got back.
stop that. Knowledge is born. What up, Noop?
What's up, noobs? How you guys doing?
Excellent, brother. About yourself.
I'm good, man. I'm good. You guys got quite the show, man. Quite the show, quite the intro. I had to put my dog up. Shit was ringing. He was going crazy. I said, Noobs created organized, educated chaos. The doorbell was ringing. He run into the door. I said, it's love. It's love.
That's pretty much it. Organized confusion. So first off, thanks very much for taking the time to do this, for us and also for the Self Love Nation. Noop.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
We respect your time, and we know that it's a million other things we all could be doing. This brother, as I mentioned, he's the owner, operator, Droppin Knowledge NetworK, and you can check it out on YouTube, IG, and Facebook, the Droppin Knowledge podcast. Game Changer Capital, which Self Love, make sure we get our business plan over to them so they can change the game with some capital. And then 9800 Woodlawn Holdings, and that's for the realty entity. If you need to reach out to this man for anything you heard, maybe you want to network, do some business or something, you can hit him up on Facebook. It's Knowledge Beckham. I'm not going to spell knowledge for anyone. Beckham is B as in boy, E, C, K as in Kappa, O, M as in money. So also Instagram is going to be Knowledge Beckham, B, E, C as in Chicago, K as in Kappa, O, M as in money. So that's this brother's math. So yeah, now we got all that out of the way.
And I worked with him on some of those Hip Hop Lives shows, classic Hip Hop Lives. It was a great experience.
And we ain't done.
No doubt.
Ain't done.
I know we not.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah. So since that you out there with that Self, I know, like, what's some of the artists you saw that he was able to bring to town?
Scarface, Master
Freeway.
Ace, Freeway.
Master Ace, bro, that's my dude, man.
Yeah. Freeway, EPMD.
Man, that's probably
AZ.
Hold it. EPMD is probably the coldest duet ever. I mean, you could say what's in down there in ATL, Atlanta, Outkast. You could probably and then Mobb Deep.
Yeah, Mobb Deep. I was gonna
man, but
Havoc. Speaking of Mobb Deep,
but there's no Mobb Deep without, man. EPMD, man, underrated. But go ahead. You were naming off some more people.
AZ. I know you love AZ.
Man, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Did you ever get Nas, bro?
Nah, but we ate around the edges. So we had AZ.
I know.
We had Cormega.
Yep.
And then we had Nature.
Yeah, wow. Nature. I forgot about Nature.
So we had Havoc. We ate all around Queensbridge. You know what I'm saying? I had Craig G come in to do something for me. So yeah, we ate around the edges. So it was strategic. And I looked at Foxy, but I guess Foxy is still she can be a little bit to deal with, I guess. So we
passed.
we steered clear of that, but it was all putting it together, brother, to bring Nasir into the fold and essentially do a firm reunion, which, as you see now, all of the beefs have been squashed. And so at this point, it's just about putting it together. Mega and Nas are back in tune. And so, yeah.
You see how his mind works, Self?
Yeah.
Getting around the edges, and then you see,
yeah,
right?
Like mine, you've been saying that, bro.
But Nuke, the connection with Nas, we had Kenny on here, and Kenny and Carl, I don't know their relationship with him now, but you know what I mean. So
Carl said he directed them in a film, and they was real cool.
Yeah. Right. So I don't know, but there's another degree of separation. So, I think there are no coincidences. So, but enough of that. Just for our nation, as we always say, where were you born and raised?
Word. So south side of Chicago, 95th and Woodline over in the Cottage Grove Heights area.
Okay. Describe what it was like coming up over there.
For me, it was a good middle class area. I got into sports so young, and so of course you ran the neighborhood, but man, from 5th grade on, I was in playing ball for school and high school, hooped as well. And so although you're in the neighborhood, when you're in the sports and athletics, it kind of, that's what you're plugged into. So school, and then after school, you're doing sports. And so by the time you get home, it's dark. You may hang out on the weekends, but that's when you got the games, practices, what have you. So it's a good area, good middle class area. I'm actually looking to buy some property in that area now because it still maintained itself within the craziness of Chicago as a kind of a hidden secret, right? Where you got a lot of homeowners take care of the stuff. A lot of good real estate over in that area. And so good spot to grow up in, man.
That's what's up, man. It's good to hear, like, the true Chicago. And I heard you say you'd be in sports and then, by the time you got home after the extracurricular and all of that, you might have some time to do homework or whatever, but there's really no time for that idle mischief.
Right. That's right. I still got into my fair share, but I'm still trying to make things happen and make things move. But man, it's if I'm focused on something, I'm focused.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, discuss any interactions you may have had with your family elders or ancestors, like how that maybe have helped shape you to become the man that you are.
Yeah, it's a great question. My brothers, so you guys had my brother on as the first guest, so shout out to JB, he was first guest on the show.
My AD.
Yep. Yes, sir. So he holds all of those things, in the vault. My memory, I don't know, man. My memory be shaky bakey, but he always pulls it together for me. So as a young guy, we had a small family unit, right? So me, him, and then my mom and my dad. My mom's people were from the West Side, and it was, West Side living. So they were trying to find their way, figure out a way. So I'm cool with a few of my cousins, but the extended family, I never really was in tune with in that way. And then my father's people, they were older, right? So my father had me at 41, and so his people were older. And so although I knew him, there was not a lot of engagement for me on either side. So my family was really my immediate family. And then the block that I lived on, we had crazy kids on the block, right? So that was the extended family. We were outside from morning to night, baseball, football, hooping, whatever it was. And so that was it for me. I knew my mom's, my mom's grandmother, or my mom's mom, right, was in tune with her a bit. Her father passed when I was a lot younger, but the reality is a lot of times when I look at myself and I try to figure out where did this entrepreneurial bug come from, right? Because my mom, that's not really her space. My father was assistant principal at Avalon Park, but he had, he would hustle. So I saw a little bit of that hustle. But I think in reality, when you look back, my mom's dad used to own like a TV shop on the West Side. And this is probably in the 60s, 70s. So a Black man being an entrepreneur at that point, that's where it came from, right? It came, she didn't necessarily get into it, but that's where it came from. Because a lot of times, even my brother, he does different things, but my my ambition and my entrepreneurship started early, man, like 3rd grade. So it's like, wasn't really taught. It was just in me. I like the art of the deal.
Yes.
Art of the deal. I like to see money moving through my hands. I like to have money in my own pockets as a young dude. And so it's just
That's
been
interesting.
Yeah, you just
because I had a homie like him, just always had a pocket full of. I mean, Marlon was one, but you know, just like always just had a pocket full of money, man. Like
Illa.
Yes.
Illa.
Yeah,
man. It tripped me out because JB told me about you, you know, before I ever met you or whatever. He was like, yeah, man, my brother, he, you know, been selling candy, been doing, you know, making videos, putting music behind it, basketball highlights, putting music behind it and selling them. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
It was like, this dude is how old?
Right. Hey,
like
boy, if I had that one joint, I had a joint, man. It was the basketball joint. Like, you know, early on, man, with the VHS, I used to cut tapes, man, and put the best highlights. I had some ugly joints, bro. I mean, the highlights that cats miss right now, like they wouldn't know Harold Miner, but the Harold Miner when he was at USC and
Baby Jordan,
like I got that behind, you know, some ill hip hop, some MC8.
So you would produce those and sell them? That's what you were doing?
I wasn't selling them. I was just producing for enjoyment. Now, I was producing them today. These types of things would have 4 or 5 million hits.
Man,
YouTube.
Yeah,
they were that dope because I would record everything, man. The VHS I would watch.
What happened to the tapes? Because you can get them digitized.
And my mom would probably put arts and crafts over them. I don't even like think about it, brother.
I hear you.
I think about it. You know, the reality is, you know, when Jordan, I think so 84, Jordan hit the Bulls. So my brother was hell was he at in 84? He was around, but I was just watching basketball so much. I remember I told him Jordan, like, man, this cat, you know what I'm saying? This guy that hit the Bulls, he's something special, man. And I used to record every Bulls game, like every Bulls. And my mom killed all them tapes, bro.
Wow.
Like every Bulls game I used to record without missing every season.
Man, because WGN used to play every single one of them, bro.
Man. Yeah, man. Yeah. So, yeah, good times. Good times.
Was there any interactions with pink people? So just in Self Love and I, we want to make this clear because you know, we're not against white people. I just want to make that clear. So all white people aren't pink. All pink people aren't white. So let me change that. Any early interactions with white or pink people growing up?
So not until high school. So my grammar school was all black, but I went to Mount Carmel. And I went to Mount Carmel, you know, obviously Catholic school. Parents want to give you the best shot for education, even though they sent my brother to Limblom, but Limblom's a dope education.
Yeah, it's one of the top public schools,
one of the top, but I went to Mount Carmel, but that was primarily based off of basketball, right? So hooping in grammar school, those would be the tournaments you play in at Mount Carmel, at St. Francis de Sales, because I went to a Catholic grammar school. And so really couldn't do scholarships, but they were on me, right? And so it came down to Mount Carmel and St. Francis de Sales. And so I ended up choosing Mount Carmel. And that's where I went, but that was my introduction to being in class, you know, going to school with white folks. At that point, I don't really, because that was truly my first sort of engagement. I would play them in grammar school, sometimes play some schools, but I didn't really have any real interaction. And at Mount Carmel, it was, Mount Carmel, that's where Daly's son went. That's where Ferdoliak, you know, all of these Chicago politicians that there at Mount Carmel, they're busting.
Fast Eddie Ferdoliak. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're busted in from the burbs. And so that was my first interaction and engagement. And, it was what it was. I think I had an identity of who I was. Just where we grew up, even then, I still remember where, the first, maybe I heard the message and things like that. But in 85, I remember when the dude was walking around from house to house, putting people on the cable. Right, so I think cable might have hit the hood in 85. And the idea I had, the first thing that I really remember checking out was, and it's almost like, seems like the first thing that I saw, but it was LL Cool J, I'm Bad. So at that point, that even gave you more of a vision, like this is who we are, this is what we're about. So when I went to high school in 89, it was I was there.
You had that mindset.
I know we was about, you know what I'm saying? Like I was confident in what we were into at that particular point because that was the, you know, it wasn't the birth of hip hop, but that's when hip hop really hit the big screen. And you start getting video shows and that sort of thing. So you identified, and I quickly gravitated to that.
Okay. And then, so any of those white or pink kids that you were in high school with, you interact with them? Did you guys stay in touch? Was there any, you know, mixing of the cliques? Was there any race dating, anything like that at Carmel? You know, I don't know. I'm just asking.
Yeah. I mean, of course, certain people do, but again, that's usually based on background and where they come from, et cetera. They may have already been exposed to that. But for me, it was, no, I just kind of, wasn't my thing. Still ain't really my thing. Right now, I know at the end of the day, it's the means to an end, but it's not my thing. You don't really catch me on the weekend. You don't catch me on the weekend hanging out with white people. You know, that's just not right. And so
appreciate your honesty.
Carmel, you know, at Mount Carmel, outside of, you know, obviously you don't need to necessarily engage in a school capacity, but then once you start the sports, then yeah, you absolutely are, because those are your teammates, et cetera. So that's when you start to engage a lot more. You know, and that's probably, I can't remember homie's name, but he was a couple years older, but I think it was during the summer, and, you know, it was a break or something, so we went to go grab some McDonald's, and he put some NWA in, and I was like, okay, all right, that was my first. I was like, okay, all right.
But he wouldn't dare say the whole name. He just used the acronym.
Absolutely not. But you know, I appreciated it because at that particular time it wasn't cool, it wasn't popular.
Yeah,
that's just what he was rocking with me. So I could appreciate that, you know. So he got an extra dime or two from me on the court. You know.
Yeah, he's being modest. Yeah, because that was, boy, KB. Hey, if KB had my shot, KB would be sitting in the league right now, probably, man. Well, not right now. He'd be retired. But
the first season of Noob Hoops, I was MVP, and it was mainly because of you two gentlemen.
Man.
Yes, sir.
Real talk.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't have to handle that responsibility at all. Y'all just like, go ahead.
Yeah.
Well, you like talking about that MVP, and I didn't even get a special honorable mention, bro. You know what I mean? But go ahead, KB.
That's it. So I mean, at Mount Carmel for me, but I will tell you that at Mount Carmel was my first with everything that's going on today. And again, I try to remember back, man, even hooping in high school, I don't truly remember my game. I knew I was nice, but it's just, man, I do so many things. I don't harp on those things, right? But it was so my first impactful race relation sort of thing happened at Mount Carmel, right? So my first year came in, started my first year, right, on the freshman team. My second year at Mount Carmel, I split time, but the point guard on the sophomore team had actually, as a freshman, played sophomore ball and started. So I did think, okay, as a sophomore, and now he's a sophomore too, he was a starter last year, like it's his spot. You coming off the bench, but that year we split time, right? So we equally started the same amount of games. And so that was love. And that coach really had, he really liked my game a lot, right? And so I knew I was on to something. And then my third year at Mount Carmel, we had a cat named Rich Jones, who was nice, you know, a cat who, you know, played varsity from the time he was a sophomore. So he was nice. I think he ended up going to maybe a school in Oklahoma or something, but he was solid. And so my final year at Mount Carmel was my year, right? That was a year I was starting point guard, et cetera. I think I started the season as a captain, and I hooped in high school with Antoine Walker, you know, so a year younger than me. And so he's doing work. Donovan McNabb, he's a year younger than me. Donovan used to do work.
Yeah, he could ball. Yeah, I forgot he was like all state.
We were probably going into the season, probably top five in the season.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, that's what we were. And I think we started like 6-0, right, that season. And my senior year, there was a white boy that came in, a point guard, as a junior, and his daddy was a ref, you know, IHSA ref or what have you. So little did I know, of course you don't know this, is 16, 17. but they had worked out a deal.
Politics.
Wow.
So we're 6-0, bro. So obviously there's nothing wrong with what we're doing. And I remember the coach coming to me and saying, well, yeah, we want to move Jay in. And, so because, our bench is a little weak and you can be more of a scorer off the bench and blah, blah, blah.
That was coming off from the, what do you call themselves? The trustee, not the graduates. What do you call them? The boosters.
Alumni
boosters.
Booster, yeah. And so, and again, you're shorty, so you just kind of seeing it, you frustrated with it. And the shit really is embarrassing because you're in school with your peers. You know what I'm saying? You're starting your guys all at the game, whatever your little chicks from the hood come like this.
And you running the point, y'all was undefeated. So what's the problem?
Point on a major squad.
Right.
And when I knew my old man used to be crazy vocal, bro. So he was a monster in them stands. You know what I'm saying? Like coaches, he just going in. And so that didn't help. That didn't help the cause. You know what I'm saying?
So that didn't help, huh?
It's got to be like me and Mills and
man. Hey, my nieces and my niece team will tell you about herself, and I'm older now, man. Go ahead, bro. But go ahead.
No, but when I knew, I guess I'm saying when I knew it was foul, is when I saw how heated my mom was. Because my mom don't give a shit about no basketball.
Right.
But when she saw like damn racism hit my son. Like, and she's a super meek, mild-mannered.
And she know the work you put in, bro. She know you deserved it.
Yeah, and when I saw that, I was like, man, you know what I'm saying? This is real. You in the mix. You know what I'm saying? You getting straight played. And I went from starting, bro, to some games I didn't play. And that piece,
I believe it.
That piece was probably more, it ain't my old man's fault, but he was such a monster and such a man's man. This white boy.
What you're saying is he was speaking out and he was speaking out right, but they used it against you instead of they just made it worse and worse and worse.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was stripped out, because that time I wanted to, and those are your life lessons though, because that time I wanted to transfer. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to move around like, yo, this is not right. I need to move.
And you didn't do it. Tried to stick it out.
I didn't do it because my father wouldn't let me do it. Like, homie, we like the basketball, but that ain't what you're here for.
Facts.
So early on, I kind of learned, even though I wanted to hoop, I loved hoop, I knew that he knew that we run a different race, bro.
He knew your priority wasn't that anyway.
Exactly. And so I stuck it out, man, but it was a tough year because that's your senior year. That's when you're spreading your wings.
Man.
You got a dope squad.
Man.
I had one little highlight. We made it to the playoffs. We were playing St. Francis de Sales, and so some of my homies, so Tori Jonelle used to hoop at St. Francis de Sales. My other Nuke Darian from Z Gang, used to hoop. We'd known each other since I knew Darian from kindergarten. We went to kindergarten together. Jonelle from first grade, so they hooped with St. Francis. So shout out to them. Malik Dixon was over there. That was a killer.
I think I know Jonelle, don't I?
Jonelle.
Lefty.
Who we played in the backyard.
Yeah. Okay. Who we played? Look, he wants to be modest. You remember when we went back there and beat the brakes off him and his buddy in his backyard? But go ahead, right in front of his dad and his big brother and God and everybody.
I don't remember. But I'll tell you, I told you.
He don't remember. He don't have a good memory. Ask JB. He remembers.
Yeah.
Y'all beat the brakes off of us?
Yeah, pretty much.
we were. It was y'all was competitive, but we won every game. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I ain't hooped in forever, Nuke, but we see each other. We can still shoot. We can still, we can put a stack on the floor and shoot even. So I don't think nothing really left me. So we can still do that. But that was a good learning lesson for me at the time. It was tough, but to go back to your question, that was the first time that I felt the sting of racism because practice is where it all come out. So I'm playing with the B team now, and shout out to my man Eugene Mack. But I'm killing homie in practice.
Of course all day. Of course you are.
Jay, stay in front of him. Ain't no standing in front of me, bro. Ain't no standing in front of me. Like,
what is the team doing though? Like your teammates, like Antoine Walker, like how are they feeling about all of this?
So it's funny, bro. Twan was super off the chain in high school. And so there would be times so shout out to Twan. I remember distinctly, there would be times, game going on, gym pack, he running down the sidelines like, put KB in the motherfucking game. You know, like that sort of thing to the coach as he's running by. And so, but you know, at the end of the day, everybody's worrying about, you know, everybody taking care of them.
Exactly.
You know, it wasn't like he was garbage, but he just wasn't me. And he had his time. You know, he could.
And there's no justification for you being the point guard, the leader, the senior, right? Putting in all that work, know the system, good student, right?
Captain.
And 6-0. So it can't be justified how you go from that to not playing at all.
Right.
You know, and if you got a problem with his dad, just tell his dad don't come to the games no more.
Right.
You know, especially when his parents are paying tuition. But let me ask you, how many times can you remember hearing any gunfire in your neighborhood, or not just in your neighborhood, but just as you're going about in the Chi coming up?
As a youngin, probably not a ton. Probably not a ton because the block that I grew up on, we were all it's solid cats. Like if I run down what they're doing today, they just solid cats. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't no in out of jail from the cats that were on my block. So from the wider neighborhood, you ask some people here and there, but at the end of the day, it wasn't my lane. You know, even when I'm off the block, the other cats in the hood, they were more cats that was they were more in my lane. You know, one thing I've always been attracted to big shit. So if I'm not attracted to just homies hanging out, because what is that?
Man.
You know what I'm saying? What is that for me? Like that there ain't nothing sweet about that for me. You know what I'm saying? Now, if we had, it's funny because so I grew up on 98th and Woodlawn. On 98th and Avalon was you know, so this is, you know, again, this sketchy memory, but so there was a cat named Kenji. You know, so shout out to Kenji if he ever sees this. We're connected on Facebook or what have you now. Asian cat. But he's Lisa Ray's he's the father of Lisa Ray's oldest daughter, Kay, or Kai, but heavy in the game. So you're talking about in the 80s, you don't know none of this now, but now after you grow up and you see the paid in full, whatever, it's like he bikes, cars with lights under them, like what is homie doing? You know, so if there was any strain that I would have done, it would have been to that. But the rough, tough, bust your gun, that wouldn't have really never caught my attention, because what's the end goal here? You know, now I saw what homie's end goal was, so that would have probably attracted me. So, you know, but again, I was tied into so much as a young dude that it wasn't really that wasn't my lane, and I really never got into that lane.
Okay, all right. So did you lose any friends or associates to violence or the prison system?
A lot of my family in prison, but again, we were never super in tune like that. Growing up, no.
Associates, I probably shouldn't say friends, you know what I mean?
Yeah, associates. Yeah. Probably not, bro. Like I had different sets of friends. So I had my, you know, the Joe Nails and those cats, Wayne and Kev. We were all sports dude, what have you. So it wasn't happening in that space. The cats that grew up on my block, for the most part, they was super clean with it, you know, and so it didn't really happen in that space. And no, you know, I've always just gravitated to a good group of cats. And probably I can kind of sniff it out. If you ain't if you're not my type of people, then I just, you know, I move around. And so no, I really didn't have cats that had that sort of lifestyle or had to experience those things growing up. Probably from my upbringing too, right? I just realized that, you know, stay clear.
Man, that's great information, bro. And we're going to get this one more question, and then we're going to check the chat. What advice or information would you give to 9-year-old knowledge? You know, some of that hindsight, 2020 information. What would you say to yourself?
So I don't know. You know, it was a different time, right? So at 9, that was 1984. And so the only thing I look back at is if I was somehow, but it's not so much me, but it was also kind of parenting too, is if somehow I had gotten plugged into entrepreneurs at an earlier age. And granted, the entrepreneurial landscape today is very different than it was back then. But if I had gotten plugged in, I would have realized truly what I was put here to do. And although I've seen good success in corporate, that's my lane. That's my lane, right? That's where I'm most happy. That's where I'm most excited. That's where I'm really getting down. And so I would have just tried to do whatever I could to learn that world a little bit more, you know, versus what I've had to do. Most of what I've had to do is trial and error. That's fine. That's what a lot of entrepreneurs have to do.
Facts.
Trial and error burns money, it burns time. And if you're not just truly a true believer in yourself, you'll just fall back from it. Because it's much easier to just go work a job. You know, even if the job's not great, it's just much easier to go do that, because the other thing takes a lot of shit that's inside you, that has to be inside you, that really doesn't live in anyone. And so I would have gotten just entrepreneurial lessons growing up. And I think if I would have gotten that, it would have been a game changer for me.
Facts, man. Those are great jewels. And so, Self, do you got any questions or anything in the chat?
Yeah, we got Trife saying what's really good, fam. You know, then we got
what up, famo?
Trife said long time no see, my good friends, which is good. DJ J Grilla, knowledge born. What's the science, baby?
What's the science, baby?
Grilla. It's my guy. It's my guy.
No doubt.
Yeah, he's a great dude, man.
Grilla, that's my guy, man. Tory Grilla on this classic hip hop lives thing, man. This was instrumental, and it was a great project because it brought old friends together. You know, that's the dope type of business, man. Like, you know,
it is.
But them, like, man, you can't, you know, Mills, you like, if it's an MCA, an MCA might not be a household favorite, but there was years that MCA was number one on my list.
Man,
and like,
yeah,
he was number one. So to be doing your concerts and chopping it up with cats,
yeah,
and he a super real dude, and
yeah,
his rider say, give me a 12-pack of MGD and a pizza. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I got, you know, not 4 cases of Chiraq, this and that, just to see, you know what I'm saying, that he is that guy. It's just like, man, that's dope. That's full circle, that this is the cat that you were bumping at 12, 13 years old, 14 years old, and now you're doing business with him.
Man.
Right. You're doing, that's just dope, man. And Tory and Grilla, man, were a big part of helping me to pull those things off, because there's a lot of moving parts, there's a lot of money on the table, and you need collaborators, man. And they had their areas of expertise. Once I brought Tory on, like, you know, handled, you know, his expertise in the production, et cetera, man, you know, it took things up a notch. Because I don't know that. You can't handle everything, but now we're on point. He's pushing the buttons and he needs to push. He's on asses he needs to be on about doing certain things that I just don't know, that I can't thank those brothers enough. But like I said, it ain't over. No, it ain't over, man.
Hey, he's dropping like
too, man. You know, I don't know if you guys saw Dr. Dre had a brain aneurysm yesterday.
Who?
Oh, Dr. Dre. Yeah, Dr. Dre.
Dr. Dre. And so, you know, get well to Dr. Dre, man. But that's a big reason that we created Classic Hip Hop Lives, man, is to make sure we pay homage and celebrate those folks that basically shaped blackness, I feel. Like,
our lives anyway, you know what I mean?
Yeah, indeed.
They put a portrait up there and shaped it and molded it and did all of the art that shaped us, you know what I mean, in a lot of ways.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, some iconic characters, and these characters are like you said, you know, you've got, he's not talking about like Kwame, and I'm not, you know, big ups to Kwame, you know what I'm saying? The polka dot shirts. I don't know if anybody remembers this guy, but
yeah, I remember his hair.
Yeah, he's talking about more like icons, bro. Like real people. Yeah. Man, it's funny you brought up MC8 because, bro, that movie when he was like, man, I just like to see other people put in work. I put in so much work. Menace. He was my favorite character in that whole movie. And I don't know why his acting didn't go a different way, but he murdered his role. And you know, when you watch the Modern Menace, they cut out almost all his stuff, all that realness. Yes,
I didn't know that. But
if you're watching it on TV,
he's that way, bro. He's. If I call 8 right now, he'd be like, "What up, Loke? What's crap?" Oh, that's him, man. He just a regular, super duper down to earth man, and that's what you can appreciate because. You know, in the promo, you talked about how I rubbed shoulders and rubbed elbows.
Yeah.
Cats. And so you meet cats and, you know, it is what it is, man. But, you know, I love 8-1 because I think he appreciated me, right? Because, I mean, he's done his thing, but a lot of cats ain't checking for 8, you know, the way that they should and paying homage in that way.
Man.
The fact that we did a show in Indianapolis. Tori, did you
Trigger has no heart.
I didn't go to that one.
Trigger has no heart.
You had Face and 8, didn't you?
Face and MC8. We had Face and MC8 down there.
Jazzy used to hate us listening to that, but go ahead, bro. Like, why y'all listen to this? I'm like, Trigger has no heart.
We went down to Napa, Scarface, MC8 concert. Shout out to my Chicago people that also performed down there. My man Scooter Chose was a part of your
man. Big ups to Scooter Chose. We gotta get him on the show too.
God, that's little bro, man. So
yeah.
So Scooter was on that show, and also Really Dope. So Really Dope's from Chicago. He's out of the he's out of the good music camp, you know, with Kanye, etc. But had them on that show as well. But normally you won't get this, but flights in 8's in LA, flights to Indianapolis, smaller airport, etc. Off the chain. And I'm like, man, you know, like damn, you know, any way that you can come to Chi, we all got to go to Indianapolis, right? We got the Sprinter. You know, I'm driving, whatever, but the man flew in Chicago and took the ride with us. We hung out in the West Loop. We went to Leaders. Shout out to Diego and Corey over at Leaders, but we went to Leaders. We hung out. We ate in the West Loop, and he took the ride with us, but just that sort of dude.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Well, most cats would be like, no, fly me there. I don't go. You know?
Right.
And then I'll tell you another thing, bro, which these all, I said I was going to do a classic hip hop lives, just behind the scenes fun facts, bro. You know, so he cool, you know, and I think this was the second time I booked 8. So he was booked my first concert with him, AZ and Freeway.
Okay.
Right? This is about 6 months later, but on the way down, you know, Napa is a 3-hour ride from Chicago, so I'm playing everything. I'm Black Moon, whatever. Man, I will tell you, bro, 8 probably rapped 98% of the shit I played.
Dang.
East Coast shit.
Lyric for lyric.
And
fan.
And my elevation of like, because you know, you want to put West Coast cats just in a bucket, you know, in a box. But the fact he was spitting everything, I was like, oh, bro, hip hop through and through. And so no matter how much gangster, whatever, he's hip hop through and through and through. And that was just, that was super dope to me, man. Super, super dope to me, bro. So yeah, man, that was
super
great
dope.
memory of homie.
Yeah, man. Hey, I want to ask, as a silverback, and we label you that because we want our silverback. You know, we're all about reparations.
Absolutely.
So as a big homie, what advice would you give to one of these shorties out here? They may be interested in entrepreneurship and more importantly, interested in surviving Chi.
Surviving Chi. Focus on your credit. That sounds silly, but focus on your credit so you can go ahead and get a place outside of, you know, Chiraq, Beirut, whatever you want to call it, right? So make sure that you be able to put your years in. But then beyond that, I always say opt in to the info. You know, you have the email, subscribe and listen. You can opt out. Opt in to information. You know, right now, man, the information is so available. You know, like we talked about this, and you talked about, you know, broadcasting this potentially a different way, and you say, you know what, I'm just gonna check out a how-to video. Like that's the world that we're in. Like whatever if you want to go make a bomb, go onto YouTube.
It's an information age.
You will find out how to go make a bomb.
Facts.
So
it's the information age.
It's the information age.
So there's nothing that you want to do that you can't figure out how to do, and it's free. All it takes is your time and your investment of that time. And so if you're someone listening to this, whatever you want to do, bro, if you want to, you know, get into drawing and animation, there's something on YouTube that's free that you can go check out that will at least get you started. And so, but you got to want the information, you know, and so that's the biggest thing that I always share with everybody. That's a big driver behind Droppin Knowledge podcast that I put together is one, you know, COVID created because we were sitting down, but beyond that, I tried to take topics that I thought that, you know, as a Black community, on a scale of 1 to 10, we were somewhere teetering in a 3 to 5. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, life insurance is life insurance, but do you know how to use life insurance to create wealth? And probably you're at a 4, you don't. You're gonna pay for the funeral, but you don't know that you can be putting money into life insurance, and then that's actually hiding it from being taxed. And then as it grows, you can pull it back out without being taxed. Like that's just game.
Yeah, it's like you could be your own bank or something, because I was researching that last year. But it would be a whole life as opposed to the term life, though, right?
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. And there's also, but that's just information. You know, what I do.
Knowledge.
Knowledge. What I do with financial literacy and the credit restoration, like there's so much information out here. And so a lot of times the losing, yep, it's definitely because systematic, et cetera. But the losing is because you also lack information. If I ask you, what can you tell me about and speak on as an expert, it's gonna be bullshit. It's gonna be love and hip hop. It's gonna be shit that don't matter.
The NBA,
whatever, you know what I'm saying? And so sometimes my guys, you know, they'll send me the text messages and shit with the NBA. Man, I don't care about that, man. I don't care about talking about no cats, 100 million. I don't like, it's cool, but I don't need that. You know what I'm saying? I spend my days, man, watching Shark Tank, watching CNBC with the stock shows, the squat talk. You know what I'm saying? The closing bell. That's how I spend my time, bro. I just try to make sure that I continue to feed my mind. You know, even if you ain't super focused, that's just what I want. I don't want to cloud my mind with a lot of garbage. You know, and at the end of the day, a lot of cats like, man, you mess with the young hip hop and no knock, but it has to be a special 24-year-old to feed my brain at this age. You know, so I listen for music purposes, but I also I'm listening for a whole different space right now, man. And so, so for a young cat, just opt into the information, man. It's out there. You just have to have the design, the will to go get the information and then get started. And don't think that you need to have, one of the things about me, like as you was doing my promo, you mentioned this and this and this. The reason that it's like that is because it doesn't take anything for me to give it a shot and get started. I don't need 100% of the information. You just need some of the information. You need the will and desire to go ahead and get started. And so that's what I would say, man, to a young person looking to make their way. Opt into the information and then get started.
Man, bro, you dropping so many jewels, I can't keep up. One thing we say is ignorance is the leading cause of death. And so, I mean, that would be the flip side of knowledge. You know, if a lot of times if people knew better, they would do better. If they see better, they would be better. You know, and what he's saying is he's feeding his mind the information and it's keeping it on his frontal lobe, what he's about. So he's moving through the universe and just creating stuff, you know, out of nowhere, because that's where his mind is. And if your mind is on LeBron James and how many points he got last night and who he passed to and who's mad at LeBron James because they didn't pass it to him and all of that, if your mind is on all of that, then your mind is not on your money bag or whatever it is that you find important.
Actually, facts.
You're not growing yourself if you are concentrate on somebody else's life. If you're focused on somebody else's life, one thing I say, and we said to the Self Love Nation, if you don't plan out your life is planned out for you.
Right. That's right.
They got places for people that don't plan their life.
That's right.
And they get railroaded right into them.
True.
Facts.
Yeah, you go through your whole life, just people telling you where to be, where to go. You know what I mean? Pat your head, rub your stomach if you're not going to plan it out. And then another thing about it is if you have nothing to do, then you can easily get caught up doing anything. And what I mean by that is, you know, self-love. We might be busy, you know, doing the podcast, whatever we're doing, and somebody could call and say, hey, can you come do effery, complete nonsense with me? You know, or it might be something that's important to them. But then you're able, since you have stuff on your mind and you're busy and you got stuff that you're actually doing, you got goals. Hey, I can't sacrifice, you know, this amount of time and effort for that.
Yeah.
But if you aren't thinking about your goals and what you got planned and what your next step is, you can easily, like to your point, Tori, have people planning your life for you and you're not even aware of it.
Yeah.
So for y'all who don't know, we're with Knowledge Beckham, and he's got Droppin Knowledge NetworK. You guys can YouTube. I know y'all catch on YouTube the Droppin, Droppin, Droppin Knowledge podcast. And also he has an entity called Game Changer Capital, and then 98 Woodlawn Holdings. And so if you want to contact this brother, you can reach him at Facebook, Knowledge Beckham. I'll go ahead and spell it KNOWLEDGEBECKOM. And then also on IG, Knowledge Beckham, spelled the same way. So that's who we're sitting with right here today. Self Love, you got in the chat, or you want me to do it, or bro? Oh, we got Gordon in here. All right, so just gonna check the chat. I think we had a question.
Yeah, there's a question, corporate versus entrepreneurship.
So this is coming from Cake. He's saying corporate.
Hey, what up, Noob? My ship.
Yeah, which is best?
Which is best, corporate or entrepreneurship? It all depends on what your DNA is. You know, if your DNA, you know, the reality is, I'm in a business, I'm in a multi-level marketing business, right? And so what you try to create are entrepreneurs, but the reality is all of it, man. I ask people sometimes, it's like, you know, some people don't realize they're programmed, but you're programmed. You know what I'm saying? You're programmed a certain way, Mills, Tori's programmed a certain way, I'm programmed a certain way. It's how you come up, it's like your parents, it's everything. And so a lot of times as an entrepreneur, there's a lot of deprogramming that has to take place if you're going to be a successful entrepreneur. And so if you don't want to go through that process of deprogramming yourself, then just work a job. But then understand those realities of a job, right? If you do something that's you know, maybe it's labor, maybe you're a UPS driver, what have you. It's a job, it's good, it has benefits, but understand you'll never be rich, right? Close to rich, you'll never be wealthy. You know, what you leave your kids probably won't be much unless you're very frugal and very disciplined. And so just understand what that is. But then also on the flip side, if you want to do the entrepreneurial side, you got to understand what that is as well. It's funny. So I'm 45, you know, got into the workforce at 21. I've always done entrepreneurial ventures. But the only time that I did entrepreneuring full time was from 2008 to 2013. That's when I was working with comedian actor Lil Rel. I ran a comedy club. Was doing some things on the real estate side. But during those times, financially, and who I am, right? I like to drive the latest whips, you know, and I like to have the latest contemporary furniture and the nicer crib or whatever the case may be. Often early times in entrepreneurship, those things they don't exist. And so you have to understand who you are. You know, during my time on that path, man, I was, you know, shout out to Harvey, but I was living in Harvey. For those that are not in Chicago, it's, you know, it's a distressed area, you know. So I'm living there, and you're talking about gunshots. So I had to think about, well, as a young dude, I didn't hear it, but as an older dude in Harvey, I definitely heard it.
Yeah, right? I'm sure in the 90s you started hearing it too. But go ahead, bro. Absolutely.
So you have to. You just have to know who you are, right? Like in that particular space, had a vehicle, but it wasn't the vehicle I normally drive. And so there was a pull, there was a tug and pull, because I want to do my own thing. I want to build something from the ground up, but I also like to live a certain lifestyle. And so you just really have to understand who you are, what's important to you, you know, how important is lifestyle to you. And I don't think there's a right answer. In terms of just generally, it really just depends on the individual themselves.
Okay. Anything else in there, Self Love? You was doing the chat.
Shout out to Cake. Cake, hit me up. I got a couple real estate joints I want you to look at. Cake only wants big dollar real estate deals. Like, Cake, come on, man. Let's make a little bit of bread, Cake. Like, don't have to take 50 off each single family. Let's take a quarter.
Well, he's driving that that $70,000 truck. You know what I mean? So he got everything in that truck. And big ups on that achievement, Cake. That's my club, Genius Club. We proud of him.
Yes, sir.
What you got in there, Self Love?
We got Gordon Howard in here saying facts.
Gordon. I ain't talked to Gordon in forever. What's up, G? Dean.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's what Cake said next. Was Dean.
Oh, Gordon was y'all Dean, man?
That was my Dean, yes, sir.
Oh, that had to be interesting.
Cake said shout out to Harvey too.
Oh yeah, Harvey. That's my new.
He talking about Harvey, Illinois.
Harvey. Shout out to Harvey.
Yeah, but
I know Harvey's your new.
Harvey is my new. But Harvey is in East St. Louis, right? He's from Boogie.
Yeah. St. Louis. But Cake is from Harvey, so that's
right. It's crazy.
And he did put Illinois. I didn't say it.
Yeah, he sure did put Illinois.
He was trying to make sure it was that.
So he's got to take them glasses off. He's making decisions here. It's confusing everybody. You got anything else in there, Self?
No, I speak between the lines. Cake said, no doubt, and y'all funny.
I got a good joint too here, man. So little Glenlivet Enigma.
Okay.
About $1.75 bottle, but they say bought it for New Year's.
Let me see it. I wasn't looking. My fault, bro. Let me see that.
Okay. Glenlivet don't usually roll like this,
right at all.
With a little bit of a twist.
Look at that.
Okay.
See, if I wasn't in Inglewood, right, I'd be conducting this interview from my phone and on my way to your crib, right? They be looking at us like, and there's Brother Mills pouring his drink.
Hey, I might just start doing it from my phone. And on my way. No.
Where did I know you kind of touched on it, bro. I think you said it was in one of your uncle's DNA. I was going to get into that spark for the entrepreneurial. You said you were doing stuff like since third grade. Obviously, that's in your DNA. But what was there anything conscious, like in something that happened as a boy that made you say, "Man, I gotta just start keeping a pocket full of money to get girls or something"?
Yeah,
what was it?
It happened so early that it couldn't be. It wasn't. It's just truly DNA, because it wasn't really girl driven. It was third grade. So you figuring like you 8 years old.
Right.
I remember, and again, you don't understand any of this, but you start to learn business lessons. And so the way it went down, and I don't know why it went down, but they used to have BJ's wholesale, right, which is now Sam's Club. I think Sam's Club acquired them, etc.
I didn't know that.
My old man used to go to BJ's, and I went with them. And so, obviously you buying in bulk. And so for whatever reason, I asked them to front me. You know what I'm saying? Give me a box of M&Ms, box of Snickers, box of Now Latest. And I'm like, okay, well, cool. The box costs this. It's 50 in the box. And so that means that every M&M pack or every Now Later I sell costs X. So I'm going to take it to school. And I really, honestly, bro, I don't think anybody helped me with this. That was just how I was thinking. And so cool. So every time I sell a pack of Now Latest, I'm up 40 cents. I'm up 80 cents. So I'm buying in bulk, I'm buying in wholesale.
Right.
First time I paid my pops back for what he fronted me on. You think about that, the drug game, what he fronted me, paid him back from what I made from that.
Big Sugar is a drug, but go ahead, bro.
Facts. So that was it, man. I got into it, and I guess, and that's probably what Tori told my brother. So we went to the same grammar school, but I think when he was in 8th, I was in 3rd. And so I used to roll to 3rd grade, bro. I used to roll to school with 2 book bags, one with my book, one with the candy, and so his guys on the playground asking him like, yo, your brother here yet? He's like, what's my brother? You know what I'm saying? Like, got that candy. You know what I'm saying? So he was like, you was wild for being in grade school in 3rd grade with a pocket full of money. Like, ain't nobody gonna take it up off you.
Right.
I don't know if I was just hard or naive or whatever. It's probably, but I grew up, even though I didn't grow up in a rough area, I always had a certain hardness to me. You know what I'm saying? Like it was
edge.
Even to today, I ain't taking no L's, boxing, I ain't never took no L, nothing like that. And it's just, Knock on wood. 45.
I've taken. I'm not gonna say I've taken a share of L's, but I'll be.
It happens. It happens.
Yeah. I mean, it was. I was outnumbered. You know what I mean? Yeah, but it was an L.
Yeah.
It was an L.
Yeah, it was. It happens. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't mean anybody. You know, nobody's done you dirty. I remember in 8th grade, had a Michigan State green hat. Walking home from school, this cat came up with he had a gorilla mask on, so he's walking toward me. Like, what homie on? But he took the mask. I mean, he took the hat and ran. But man, I chased that homie so violently and for so long that I think he felt, even though I was a shorty, and I'm shorty, I'm light in the ass, but he probably felt like homie probably want to rip a motherfucking, you know what I'm saying? He want to rip a hole in me, and homie wouldn't stop, even though I'm sure he was probably 6, 7 years old. He was like, I probably don't want to let homie get a hold of me because it looked like he got the fire in him. And so that's just,
so did he drop the hat or he just kept running?
He kept it, bro. He kept it.
Didn't quite catch him.
Was it a fitted cat? Was it fitted?
It was fitted joint.
Yeah, so they were taking those, boy.
You know, I never said that was it, but we'll take the L on the hat. The fact that you had to run as an older dude, you know what I'm saying? I'll take that. I'll take that as a win because at the end of the day, you could have been like, I'm taking your shit, shorty, and that's what it is.
Right.
The fact that you had to get it moving, I'll take that. You know, I'll take that as a win. You felt it.
And with a mask on.
And with a mask on. You probably thought it was going to get real heated for you. And so those are one of those things you just take, Milk, right?
Yeah, he was doing stuff like that. I'm pretty sure he ended up probably in a casket or in jail shortly afterwards. You can't be running around the South Side like
a cage.
Yeah, you just can't be running around the South Side snatching stuff from kids like that and running down the street.
Not at all.
Somebody gonna get you.
But on
but
on the entrepreneurship, that's kind of that's where I was, man. That's kind of where it started for me. I don't really think it was there was no real drivers other than just what was in me, you know, what was in me, and you know, I like that. I learned the value of money early, and I learned that it created options, and I'm an option guy. You know what I'm saying? If I want to tell you tonight, you know what, Mills, I'm about to shoot out the Turks and Caicos. I want that option. Right. I don't want to have to save for 6 months. I don't want to plan. I want to go in. I want to book tonight and go in the morning because those are the types of options that I like. And so I've always known that money creates those types of options.
Yeah, I guess money would create the option. It's funny, you were doing that stuff in 3rd grade. I started doing that in like 6th, 7th grade. We had an 7th grade, early involvement. But the school shut me down because, man, them kids was coming to my locker for that sugar, boy. Man, they was coming for that sugar, man. And they was trying to tell me, like, bro, they was like, man, these kids are addicted. They was coming.
You got the candies?
Yes.
You got the candies.
And I went to school in Hyde Park, so some of these parents probably weren't giving their kids sugar. You know, they were limiting it. Oh, man, them kids, boy, they would be lined up outside my locker. They blew the whole spot up. They thought I was selling drugs.
It was crazy, bro. And shout out to my teacher, Miss Bluen. She's the one that she allowed me to grab multiple blocks. Like I used to just do it in my class, but she allowed me to start going to other classes to actually sell my candy. So
yeah, see, big ups.
Look at that, big ups, and allowing me to expand my entrepreneurship.
See that?
Building it.
Inspired this kid. They pulled me down to the office and threatened to
kick you out of school.
Right. Well, I was living out the district at that time.
It's funny, bro, but that's
looking for a reason.
That's the difference sometimes in terms of nurturing an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
She actually gave me more. She actually helped grow my business where somebody shut yours down, where at the end of the day, the kid's gonna go get the candy anyway at the candy store after school.
Right.
So why wouldn't we, help this young brother help him?
That's exactly what I said. But I was doubling up my money. And I wasn't getting it cheap like you. So that was definitely price gouging. So I was getting it at market price and doubling it up. But I knew those kids in Hyde Park had money, man. I would go to their house. Yeah, they had the money, man.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I wouldn't have sold it to the kids in my hood like that necessarily. I don't think they would have bought it. They'd be like, we can go right here and get it. In fact, we could just take it from you.
That's funny.
But I digress, man. But we did have Cake said button up another one of those buttons for him.
Not at all, nope. I've invited some people to here, Nuke. So They want to see me this way. So.
Hey, that's you and your ship, man. That's...
Yeah. If you want to turn me on to audio only, go ahead and do that.
Well, no, we covered that. What advice would you give? That's a difficult one for brothers, but I'll just say a single parent. The question is written: what advice would you give to a single mom? That's dealing with a child that may be, struggling academically or behavioral issues.
Opt in to information, right? That's my mantra for 2021, right? You got a problem, Google it. Google something, you're gonna get some ideas. So at least it gets the wheels to turning. But most times, and again, it goes back, shout out to Tori because he was in the financial literacy and credit restoration business with me. So if anybody's listening now, you have less than optimal credit, if you have less than a 750, you need to connect with me because you're spending money that you don't need to spend because of your 3-digit score. But with that being said, that single mom needs to what she needs to do is focus on her credit, because focusing on her credit will give her options. And if she gets those options, she probably needs to then make a way to move out of probably that environment that she's in. If she has that kid working through so much in that particular environment, change the environment. Doesn't mean it's 100% foolproof, but change the friends, change the network, change the people these around, etc. And it gives him a shot and puts him in a different space. And the reality is, oftentimes with these people in the neighborhood, there's some money coming through their hands. So it's not like, a lot of times you move out to these suburbs, it ain't like you can still go find you a 2-bedroom that's still $800.
Oh yeah.
But it's just in the suburbs.
Right.
So again, opt into that information, get your credit in order, create some options for yourself, and then change the environment for a kid. And you start there. It's important. That's a simple fix, man. Sometimes these problems that we have, they're not as complex as you think, but usually the parent needs to tighten up some things in their world to actually put their kids in play.
Man, appreciate that. That's one that we asked all the brothers and even the sisters. We only had one sister to sit here so far. I see your podcast, boy. That's all you be doing is having sisters on there. So, funnel some of them our way so we can get them on the Self Luv Show. Good news.
I definitely will. Definitely. No, shout out. I definitely will, man. I mean, the ladies are usually they locked in. They're locked in, and so no, I definitely I talked, like I told you, talked to a young sister yesterday. She's created an Airbnb business, man. Like that shit feeds me, bro. She created Airbnb business, I think, over the last. So her course now shows you how to build an Airbnb business, whether you own the property or you don't, right? So I may reach out to somebody who has a property downtown and say, hey, if you've ever thought about Airbnb in your joint, and I may bring this to them, tell them the benefits, tell them what the income stream could be, et cetera. And so now I'm marketing your crib for you and just say, hey, we got a booking. So this weekend, why don't you go do this? But I'm about to get you $800. So go get a hotel and spend $150. And now you're up $650. Like, ball game. You know what I'm saying? Game over. So I've just helped that person now pay 40% of their, mortgage for the month, or 35% by putting them in the Airbnb business. But I didn't own anything. I just came with them, set it up for them, told them what needs to happen, et cetera. And so there's plenty of people out here, man. And so that's why I do love the podcasting thing, because it gives me a chance to connect with so many people and connect with folks that they're in different lanes than you may be in. And a lot of times that's what we don't realize. Like I always tell, I was telling my team yesterday on a weekly call that we do, is that if this type of stuff isn't bubbling up in your circle, it's going to be hard for you to win. You know what I'm saying? Like you need to have people in your circle. This is what they do, because now you're picking up on, oh, wow, tell me more about that. Tell me more about this. Tell me more about that. Like you got to continue to get this information, man, because for so long that information has been held from us and it hasn't been readily available. Like a lot of times in the credit business, we talk about people are like, well, man, I didn't learn this growing up or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, because that's why mom and dad couldn't just Google credit. Like, it was like, how the hell would they find out how credit is the scoring model? Like, I don't even know if that was available back then. So they had to just make a
it was fluid. It's still fluid.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm like, but now at least you can go to YouTube, watch hours and hours of videos.
Facts.
You can watch so much. And so now that the information's out here, you just got to want it. If you want the information.
So would you say ignorance is a choice?
Absolutely. Absolutely, bro. Like even now, there's so many things, you see cats storm the Capitol, I get it, man. America's always been set up against us, but motherfuckers are complicit.
Man, and lazy.
Motherfuckers are complicit. And I get it, the way you grew up and this and that, whatever. But if you want to change this situation,
you can.
The best time to change your situation.
Man.
And it's gonna
why do you say this is the best time?
Just because it's
because of the access to the information.
I told you about the Airbnb chick. Like, I created a podcast from you, from y'all, from people that was in my circle. Like, okay, Mills, you know about this Tori, I can do a podcast with Tori about production and this and that. And there's gonna be some people who find value in that. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day. And so with that sort of opportunity that's out there, you can go find information on whatever it is that you want and then monetize that information. Like this young lady, watch me, brother, watch me. I'm gonna tell you. So today is January 6th, 2021. Don't know this young lady. She found me because of my podcast. She's gonna be a guest on my podcast, but I'm gonna drill her about the Airbnb business to see what she knows. And probably in 12 months, you'll be like, damn, KB's doing Airbnb. Didn't know how to do that business a couple of days ago, but now that I'm in tune with her, I'm going to get the information and then I'll roll it out. And now that'll be a stream of income for me that I did not have.
And just from this process, I'm kind of feeling you on that 100%, Noop. Because just by us going through this process, Self is mentioning how it's expansive. And you start talking to people, and I might be talking to, say, Brother Stallings about, football, and he's passionate about that in a way that I could never be. And because of his passion, he's going to have a lot more information, and he's going to be willing to share the information. Right. Yeah. And that's the thing. Yeah. It's funny what you said about your team and putting people in the right lanes, because you're JB is man
excellent at that.
Yes, I didn't get a chance to really work with you on the yard, within the fraternity, because I was out and you was in, but man, your brother, he was magnificent at that. Like, look, Mills and Tori at MP all the time, we're gonna put them in charge of the athletics in the frat.
Absolutely. Yeah. He's a chess player in that way.
Definitely.
But it's always very cool because we're alike, but we're very different too. Like I need him because I need him because he sets structure for me, because I'll just be an all-out go-getter. You know what I'm saying? But he set structure for me to make me maybe think once or twice about, okay, you said that, what do you think? He won't do the things that I do, right? Because that's not necessarily in him. But he'll set the guidance. He'll give me a framework to kind of work within. And, that's the dopest thing about my brother and my mom. My dad, not as much, because he passed when I was 24. But man, they co-sign everything I do, bro. Like, they co-sign everything. And, some people don't have people that support them. I remember when I first left CDW, and I was six-figure. I'm a young black kid talking about I'm leaving a six-figure type income, but neither one had a long conversation at all. Like, okay,
nobody gave you a big rundown about how that's stupid and
like, okay, exactly, and that means everything to the entrepreneur.
No doubt.
And I'm gonna tell you how life is. Hold that thought. So CDW, I bet if you look back on it now, some of those cats that had that position you had got let down, they downsized, and you probably wouldn't have had that bag anyway. But go ahead, Self. What was you about to say?
Damn it. I went with you and I forgot.
My bad.
My bad. It's all right. It happens. I'll think of it. But your brother always likens me and you. He say we are a whole lot alike.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I see it some ways. I've discovered more during this conversation. How?
Yeah.
I saw it right away when he said it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm on the outside of both of y'all. So I saw it right away when he said it, just by how KB rolled when he hit the yard. You know what I mean? Yeah, he was observant, you know, and you know, wasn't doing a lot of yapping, but you could tell he didn't have no female dog in him. You knew he didn't have any female dog in him. You know what I'm saying? And he was about his business. Excluding knowledge. Beckham.
Real quick, Neil. You know,
go ahead, bro.
To drive in on that, at the end of the day, towards your heart, like you're a good through and through type cat. That's just, your heart is so rock solid and so real, you know, from the 9 type, you know, whatever. I think that's what he talks about, because for me, there's plenty of times that I could have just ran off with the bag and just, when you ask me about pink folks, man, I'm tied into so many Jewish cats that can look out for me and plug me in. I remember when I was doing real estate, bro. Real estate was a concept. I never, you know, I had property, but I didn't know what to do in rehab. I had a cat, man, that wrote me $130,000 check in 2005 because I told him, this is what I'm doing and I can make it happen. And I know you're not tapping into these areas, so I know you love stock market, but I can give you something else. And man, the man gave me $130,000.
Did you hear that, Self? Yeah. Well, he didn't give it to him, but he invested it in you. But
that's the investment.
yeah.
With that, and so part of me, whatever I get, I just can't leave nobody behind. You know, people are, what's up with you and Lil Rel? Man, I did what I was supposed to do for Lil Rel. I took what I had. That man loved what he do. I don't want to deal with, you know, no disrespect to gay cat. I'm not in that lane. You know, I don't want to deal with the whole Hollywood. I wanted that man to achieve, though, because I knew that's what he wanted, and I knew I had some things that could help him get to that level, and I'm gonna be all right. Now, if he want to come back, and a lot of guys were like, you know, so I'll say it here. I got like, man, real shit. I was getting ready to open up a performance venue in Lansing earlier in 2020. Guess who my biggest investor was?
Yeah, no doubt.
So it don't have to come the way that people think it needs to come.
Of course.
And so at the end of the day, I think that's where we tie in, Tori, is that our hearts, if I know it, if I got it, if I got access to it, I'm gonna put some other people on. It ain't just for me. When I go first, I go first so I can then go tell whoever wanna listen. I went first and here it is. And that's what he sees, I think, about me and you, is just the pureness of who we are as real cats out here.
Yeah.
I will say that. Yeah, I haven't heard any misinformation coming from Self Love. You know what I mean? What he feels, he says, you know. Yeah, if he doesn't feel it, he doesn't say it. So excluding knowledge, whom do you attribute your professional success to and why?
That's a good question.
I know it's a tough one.
There's multiple. So one, I want to shout out my man. He ain't even in this world, but my man Lux Jones, LaRon Johnson. He started at CDW a month before me, but we had a tremendous run because CDW now is a $17 billion business. But we started as young cats. He went to Iowa, I went to U of I. He's a West Side dude, I was a South Side dude, but we connected. And from that point on, we ran and we created like CDW history, because you had these 2 black cats that's from the city that we're on Schaumburg cats, but we hustled. They gave us a phone, they gave us the systems, they trained us up a little bit, and then after that and told us that there was a bag of money if we succeeded in this, and we ran and we got it. But he's always been, when I talk about your circles, you know, when he just got a new gig at Amazon, package he got was like $1 million package. You know, this is a gut of a West Side type cat. At the end of the day, that always that lets me know that there's more to shoot for. You know, so he's always been a barometer, you know, so we always talk about you don't want to be the top of your circle. He's always been able to give me something else to shoot for, something to do, whether it's corporate or entrepreneurial wise. I mean, he does property, real estate. So he's always given me that. But then beyond that, I was blessed to get in tune with a couple of Jewish cats at CDW. that really, so 2 Jewish cats, 1 Greek cat. So it's funny how the game goes, right? They took a liking to me, right? Shout out to my man Adam Ryder. I mean, we used to talk about The Wire back in the day. This is when The Wire was really happening. You know what I'm saying? But he was trying to get a visibility into Black life. He was a New York cat though, so you know they can be a little different than a Florida white cat. You know what I'm saying? So they kind of get it because New York is kind of mixed up in a gumbo like that. But those cats they saw something in me that they put me into positions that allowed me to accelerate quickly. So even though I was in corporate and even I was me, I wasn't Schomburg, Schomburg.
Right.
I was still, knowledge from 95th, but they put me into position to accelerate. You know what I'm saying? I remember when I got at 24 years old at CDW, cat named Orrin Hartman. Shout out to Orrin. My brother knows him, cat from New York, who was also cool with LaRon. He was a big deal at CDW. I remember LaRon was at his desk. They called me on my phone while I was at my desk at work. Was like, yo, I'm here with LaRon. He said, if you decide to be a sales manager, he'll do it too. I'm like, I'll do it. He like, cool. All right, the email will be out later today. This is a big company, though, like a real company. That's how my promotion happened. Wow. Not going through a training program, et cetera. Right. You had 2 Black cats announce that they're about to be managers at this company. And that's the way that it went. It wasn't the politic. We was plugged in with the right dude who had the right power. And from that point on, I was a made man. I was 24 years old. I was a made cat, you know what I'm saying? And it's just so when I look back at him, I look back at Adam Ryder. I had a similar story with him, but they were just, they just saw something in me. They were cool about giving us opportunities. You know what I'm saying? They both had New York heritage in them. And so, the pink folks, man, when they have, given that they have the power, the access, the knowledge, et cetera, when they want to do well and pay it forward, it can mean everything to folks that don't have access. And they really set me on my path very early on. And I watched some of the things I didn't pick up that I should have picked up. But I remember, man, when I was in my 20s, they was doing the stock market, playing the stock market, et cetera. Man. And I didn't really get it. And so shout out if anybody checking this out. Shout out to Greater Better Noop, Will Montez. He was on the Droppin Knowledge podcast. He talked
my dean.
That was your dean. Okay. He talked about building wealth in the market. But if you haven't checked that out, you have any interest in stock market and building wealth in the market, you definitely need to check that out. That's one of the pillars. So I have 3 pillars, man. I share. It is, hopefully I don't forget it. Let's see. So it's participation in the stock market. These are the separations between the rich and the poor.
Okay.
Participation in the stock market. Uh-huh. Participation in real estate. Mm-hmm. Right. So having that as a part of your portfolio, and then
insurance.
No, if it wasn't insurance, I don't know if it was passive.
Stock market, realty.
Stock market, realty, and no, home ownership is with realty. I can't remember, man, but it was.
Well, here's the thing. We're about to go to a quick break, so I give you time to think about it, so that we can, pay the water bill real quick. So we normally run like a video, bro. So Self Love and I will mute your mic and stop your video, and then come back in like 5 minutes, and then resume from there. And also we'll clear the chat when we get back. Self Love.
What's your what video is it?
Oh, my bad. It's gonna be shout it.
Okay, that's what I'm on too. So.
Yep, and then the Say Eureka is gonna play right behind that. So let me go ahead and stop Noop's camera.
What the hell did it do?
And then let me mute him.
Let me stop share because I hit the wrong thing.
All right, so we got knowledge stopped. Yeah, shout it. They're gonna ding us for this, but we need to get this out here. Go full screen too.
I'm out here living his name though. Praising God took the weight off my ankles. I'm content even if I don't change clothes. Holy Spirit, it feel like my raincoat. Chosen king, where did your fame go? Never had it, I'll still be the same though. Walk with Jesus, they walk with they Draco. Store my riches in heaven as bankroll. We don't deposit in banks though. Righteous living, it ain't what you think though. We be the army, no tank though. Jesus Christ really showed us the lane though. But the world getting darker than train smoke. They don't longer keep God in their brain though. Plus the enemy come with the same show. It's a problem, but who do we blame though? He made the sky and the rainbow. Hung him up, but he died for the same folks. He'll set you free from them chains. Most we gotta put away idols. The time is vital. It's been a spiral. Waiting on Jesus' arrival. Walk up the aisle. We be the bridal. Those in denial, they suicidal. First there was water, then there'll be fire. There is no rival to the Messiah. The cross on carry, but ain't no Mariah. Putting on Christ while I'm killing desires. Watching my sin, I don't live in the prior. God, he gon' open that door like a dryer. Dry up my tears, you know I've been crying. You know the spirit controlling my mind. Feel like an anchor, I'm holding it down. Deep in my sin is where I was found. Everything messed up, he turning it round. Put some gas in the tank for me. Holy Spirit made it thanks for me. Worship one God and it ain't money. Got the land flowing with the same honey. Wise virgins and we ain't dummies. Track laid and the train coming. We all living through the same promise. In the blood of Christ, it'll change something. We in his body, we solid. Take me off course, I doubt it. I'm living for God, I'm about it. We give him praise and we shout it, shout it, shout it, shout it, shout it. We in his body, we solid. Take me off course, I doubt it. I'm living for God, I'm about it. We give him praise and we shout it, shout it, shout it, shout it, shout it. Pray without ceasing, salt of the earth and you know we the seasoning. Sometime I'm on defense, cause most of these people they living facetious. Put on your armor, cause anything wicked you can't let it creep in. The armor I sleep in, and some of you only know God on the weekend. We gotta repent, the body we leased in. Look at what he sent, he did it in pretense. Your death he can prevent. I'm calling on Jesus, but they call it treason. Look, they are some demons forgetting the meaning of why we are breathing. They scoffers and heathen. We pleading that you hold your wrath from us. The scriptures prophesied your wrath coming. Give us time to get it right, Lord, cause that's what Jesus gave his life for. We in his body, we solid. Take me off course, I doubt it. I'm living for God, I'm about it. We give him praise and we shout it, shout it, shout it, shout it, shout it. We in his body, we solid. Take me off course, I doubt it. I'm living for God, I'm about it. We give him praise and we shout it, shout it, shout it, shout it, shout it.
Hey Dad, I have a new idea for Christmas gifts this year.
Great, Skylar, what's the idea?
Say Eureka Africa.
Eureka Africa, what's the idea?
Say Eureka Africa.
I just did, but what's the idea?
That's the idea, Dad. Say EurekaAfrica.com.
Oh, say EurekaAfrica.com.
Say EurekaAfrica.com, where you can get all of your awesome handmade African clothing and accessories for a great price.
Great, let's go order now. I just got hooked up by SayEurekaAfrica.com.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. I want to say Big Nick, South Florida, was out there in the chat. I don't know if he's still around, but Big Nick, solid, bro. Man, we had ran one of your videos yesterday. I got people out there in the Jacksonville area just trying to see if they can, put some emphasis and some action on it. So everybody, welcome back to the Self Luv Show. Self, if you can get Knowledge's stuff going, please, brother. And we can get everything resumed. Yeah, but Big Nick, what did Big Nick say, Self? Let's see. Big Nick.
Thank Big Nick. Love Big Nick.
Yeah, he said, "What's up, Kings? Happy continuations. Facts." And Miliak was asking if that was Ace. I don't know if he's talking about Knowledge, but this is not Ace. But what up with it, bro? Gordon, huh? He asked something about.
Seemed like Ace said something earlier in the chat too.
But I don't see nothing in there about Ace. I heard you say something about Ace. Maybe Ace deleted his chat.
Something, because I don't see it now.
Yeah, self-love strikes again. Tell you, take them glasses off, bro. Let me see.
That's nothing to do with the glasses, baby. You know how I get there.
DJ Grilla say, man, shout out to KB. He brought me in the dub, and I'm still there. Much appreciation. What's he mean by the dub, KB?
CDW. So,
oh, your company. So he works there.
Yeah, he works there today. So, once again, Fortune 100 company now. I know for a fact I hired more Black and brown people at CDW than anybody, even recruiters. Like I had in 2002, I got the opportunity from one of the Jewish guys I talked about. Shout out to Adam Ryder. But he gave me the opportunity to build out a new division at CDW in the downtown Chicago office. And bro, I hired so many of us. Gorilla was one, but I'm talking about the guys I grew up with. They didn't go to college. I'll just bring everybody in, bro.
Knowledge. I did the same thing out here when I moved to Cali, man. And the brothers was working. They was like, I thought this was a Black-owned company. But go ahead, bro. Yeah.
It's the same thing. I mean, it was, I'm in sales. And so I said, most people fail at sales anyway. So why wouldn't I give somebody an opportunity? I don't care about the credentials.
Man.
With the credentials that fail. So let me just open up the door and maybe hunger.
Somebody thirsty. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Well, actually, what have you? But Jay Wheeler came in through that floodgate, and he's done very well for himself there, man. And so many other folks. And so it was a magical time, bro. It was a magical time because I was young and I was given a lot of latitude in a corporate environment. And so I think I did very well by it in terms of giving us opportunities to put you in position.
Facts.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about, y'all. That's what it's all about, man. That's what we mean when we say Chi-Town stand up. That's an example of what it means to stand up, go out there and hire people who can do the job and who look like us and stop being on the effery. I want to mention real quick that the phone lines are open. It's troll free, 424-900-6945. That's troll free.
Troll free.
Trolls get hoes. That's 424-900-6945. So some of you chat rats that got a lot of typing, y'all doing it, sitting in like little rats. Y'all can call in, ask this brother a question, or feel fine to keep. Free. Yeah, troll free, please. We're looking for a troll. We haven't had that yet, but please, we'll make you famous. All right, so I think you kind of. You kind of went there. All right, so we're with Knowledge Beckham, and he has Droppin Knowledge NetworK, where they do the Droppin Knowledge podcast, also Game Changer Capital. And so, Noop, is that for like if someone has a business and they're looking to get some money for investments?
So Game Changer Capital is Game Changer is a name that I've carried probably for 15 years. That's what I've always considered myself as a game changer. Mm-hmm. And so Game Changer is actually the foundation of a lot of things, but Game Changer Capital embodies my financial literacy and credit restoration business. And then also given that probably 70% of the people that I end up helping through that program, the goal is to buy a home. Right. And so as I now start to rebuild the real estate portfolio, what I want to do is I want to take that person that's looking to buy a home, start them in the program, where are you looking at, et cetera. And by the time I've gotten you right, I've already gotten your home right. And you got all of the new fixings and all of the right, fixtures, the location, the this, the that, and I move you right into that crib. So it's good for me. Right. So that my place is not on the market. So basically when I create a place, it already has a name on it. And I've made sure that the person's name on it that they've gone through the program, they've gotten themselves in position, and I'm creating homeowners, which again in America is still the #1 way of building wealth in America is through home ownership. And so I'm trying to create more homeowners. Want to make $1, but I want to create homeowners at the end of the day and let that love come back.
Well, we did a show on big corporate, and it's okay. This is America, baby, to make money. This is what it's all about. I mean, that's okay. You know, it's just as long as there's a benefit, and your benefit is helping us, and specifically urban communities, get that home ownership, which leads to generational wealth.
Getting them from no credit to in a house that's specified for them.
Absolutely.
So then maybe at some point you can get a loan against that house and start you a business like some other people have done.
Let me tell you this, Noop. So I talk about opting into the information. So I started my financial literacy business on September 28th, 2018. On September 26th, 2018, I didn't know this existed. Since then, since I've opted into the information, within I guess it's been about 26, 27 months now, I've actually created $230,000 of real money, not fictional, real money, right? How did I do that? So one, I actually started a business. So in addition to helping and building my own credit through this program, I decided to create a home-based business, right? So if anybody's listening to me now, I don't care what you make it, you know, your job or whatever, you're still an employee and you're taxed as an employee. So get yourself a home-based business because there's write-offs to come with that. So
absolutely,
the ring light that I just got, the iMac that I'm talking to you on, the microphone I'm talking to you, those are all write-offs come tax time next month.
You can write off a portion of your mortgage or no, or the interest.
Yeah, you can write it. Absolutely. You can. So all of these things are what you get with the home-based business. So by helping people that look like us over the last 24 months or so, I've been able to earn $70,000 through that business. So that's $70K.
And that's just from knowledge. That's just from the information.
Opting into the information, brother.
You haven't gone out and took 4 jobs and labored.
Absolutely. And made $70K as a business owner. So $70K as an employee means you really netted 40.
Because of the taxes.
Because of taxes. $70K as a business owner, then I write that down, you know, taxable income, et cetera. I'm going to see more of that actual money, right? So you have that piece. But then in addition to that, because I knew I wanted to build my real estate portfolio, I've now taken my credit score that was once a 559, it's now an 820. And I was able to leverage that credit score to go out and get funding, right? And so I went out and got, you know, and there's a system to it, but it's all above board, et cetera.
What do you mean? You had to use a personal guarantee to get this funding?
So these are personal loans.
Of course.
Personal loan if you don't got no damn credit, right?
Okay.
So went out, got between 6 different, you know, creditors, personal loans. So 160,000, not in the air, in the atmosphere, in my bank account. So now when I'm going when I'm going to build this real estate portfolio,
you got cash in there that they can see.
I got cash. So there's no chance of deal not going through. I can close 10 days if you need that better. So my deal is better than the person who's getting financing.
Facts.
Right. Yeah. And so now I can get the better deals. And so, but all of this started because I opted into some information. Right. And so, but check this out. So even when I started right now in the Chicago area, real estate market is hot, you know, specifically if you're pulling off the MLS, it's very super competitive, et cetera. But in that time, because of Will Montez, right, talking about building wealth in the market, and because of my education in the market, since I had the money, I knew that because I opted into information, sitting in my checking account don't really make a lot of sense because it's not earning anything. So
it's actually losing.
It's actually losing with inflation. So I put that money to work in the market. And so that money, I put 50%, I put about 80,000 of that into the market. That's created me within the last 3 months, it's created me about 10K. Wow. Right. So now I've taken that money. So that money's actually earning me money. And then, so I've gotten the money to put in the market to earn money. And now when it's time to close on these real estate deals, which I have a couple of going, then I'll be able to do that. This is all opting into information, man.
See, Self, this is what we call money on top of money.
You already know.
You know what I mean? Tony Montana
selling candy in 3rd grade.
Man, and I'm telling you,
saying I'm up 40 cents.
He sound like my one club. My one club was selling candy in 3rd grade too. You know what I mean?
You're right. The same type of conversation. That's
yeah, very similar, man.
It was.
Okay, so I know that's gonna be. I know that one. So because you answered it. Here's a good one, and you kind of mentioned it with your late business partner. How have you utilized your South Side or your Chi-Town upbringing? How do you think that may have helped you, or in your professional pursuits?
Yeah, that is a good question. So I think there's just, South Side Chicago, you see it through our ball players, entertainers, or whatever, for people that are outside of Chicago. There's a certain realness. There's a certain Pat Beverly to it, right? There's certain tenacity.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? That pretty much,
Facts.
Maybe I'm not supposed to be here, but I'm going to be here because y'all paying people bags to be here. So Pat Beverly really don't got no reason to be in the NBA.
Sure doesn't.
The fact of the matter is, you heard they giving out a bag. I'm going to spill on anybody. I'm going to D up anybody.
Whatever it takes, man.
Because they're giving away bags, and that's kind of a Chicago mentality. And so I feel like at the end of the day, that Chicago grit, that awareness, that's that kind of, to be able to sense certain things and have your spidey senses in the proper place. I think that all of those things have been important. But I'll tell you, so that's what fed me as a younger cat. But for anybody listening to this, I call it virtual mentors. I have so many virtual mentors as an adult that, man, it doesn't cost me anything. Sometimes I'll invest if they have something to invest in, but they feed me. So I want to shout out, so you talked about, young cat, maybe being an entrepreneur. Rock with Shark Tank. Shark Tank is really like master's class on TV. Of course, there's some entertainment, whatever, but if you mess with, I had no idea about valuations. I had no idea about how protecting your idea. I had no idea about, well, what if, what's your barriers to entry? There's just certain things that, again, I didn't have to.
And what the investors are looking for, just by watching, how they think.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Without paying $100,000, I got that for free. You mess with Marcus Lemonis from The Profit. He goes.
I was going to mention that when you finish. That's my show, boy. Yeah. People process. Man. He says people process and product. Yeah. All right, go ahead, bro. And he from Chi. Yeah.
He grew up in the Chi. So you have that. You want to move it more to people that look like us. As I got into the credit business, I used to rock. I still rock with Will Roundtree, cat out from Milwaukee, but just dropped credit game. Want to rock with Jay Morrison. Jay Morrison's a monster. Jay Morrison's he's a real good cat. You know what I'm saying? If you guys are not up on Jay Morrison, he's out of, I think, grew up in Jersey.
Okay.
Caught a case, used to hustle.
Okay.
Came back to the world and, just became a real estate monster. He created the first Black joint, this like, I forgot what you call it, where you can get crowdfunding sort of a business. But it was called Black Wall Street. It's called a trust fund, so it was kind of after Black Wall Street, et cetera, but a beast on the real estate stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about next level. So you got Jay Morrison. Man, if anybody wanted to understand anything and learn about the stock game, mess with Earn Your Leisure. They got a podcast, EYL cats is, man, they blessings. They blessings. All you got to do is plug in today.
So you could type Earn Your Leisure on YouTube or Google and it'll come up?
Earn Your Leisure.
Okay.
They just, so all this information is just out there, man. So these are what I call my virtual mentors, people I don't know, people I don't pay, but just drop legitimate, real information. And if you just want to be a student and you want to elevate, it's there, bro. Like it's absolutely there. And so, Chicago's definitely done what it's done. But again, my world's always been bigger, than the Chi. I eat from anywhere that I can eat.
Man.
And, even growing up, classic hip hop lives, right? A lot of that is New York influenced. You know what I'm saying? Like Knowledge probably wouldn't have did what he did if it wasn't no Diddy, right? If it wasn't no Russell, you know, if it wasn't no Suge. Those are cats that look like me. And I'm like, oh, I don't have to always be in front of the camera. You can be behind the camera. Oh, you can actually be the guy cutting the checks. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, when I ran the comedy club back in Orland Park at Al Riggers, shout out to Al Riggers, shout out
You
to
like, I don't have to be standing up here cracking the jokes, but go ahead, bro.
No.
And I don't want to tell no jokes. I want to
Right.
you know, so the fact that I could actually bring people in that look like us, put together the event and be paying people out.
Had to feel good, man. Yeah.
It feels great. It feels great to employ.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? People that look like you, because again, it ain't a ton of people out here looking to employ us.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? So when you're able to do that, it's just it's a blessing, man. And so I've loved the ride that I've been on, and I've done a lot of things, but I think in my 40s right now, bro, it's been I always talked about a lot of the things that I've tried, I've done, I put my hand in. It feels like right now I'm in that season of now I understand how to monetize everything that I've done. Everything that I've gone through and maybe did as a hobby or it's fun, I've learned how to monetize it now. And so my hopes is, you know, where you gonna be in 5 years, 10 years, you'll be like, damn, he figured it out. He got the cheat code. He got the cheat code. Like he finally got the cheat code. And after that, it's been smooth sailing. So if my ship cake is on, hit me up, Nuke. Don't worry about the 50K, man. This is early on, brother. It ain't deal to deal. It's long term.
Yeah, Carrot. We call him Carrot. Yeah, Carrot, and it's you know, and get the Terminator in there too, man. Quit playing. Let me ask you, Noop, biggest mistakes that you see from Black or urban entrepreneurs that you know that you could share.
They opt out of information.
I was gonna say that.
So I'm gonna go there. You know, I'm gonna go there. So the reality is CDW was instrumental to me because I was working, so I was getting a paycheck every 2 weeks. And I learned a lot about business, learned about how to sell, I learned about numbers, etc. And so it's great when you come up at 21, 22 and you start your own thing, but the reality is you don't know shit. And so there's gonna be a lot of learning curves, there's gonna be a lot of lost money, etc. And so you got to do some sort of due diligence to learn about what you're doing. You got to be a student of what you're doing, right? To put yourself in position.
So you're saying like research. So like if I'm interested in starting a restaurant, then maybe I'll go work for a restaurant for like 2-3 years and work in the kitchen and work in, you know, different aspects of it.
If you have that ability, that's gonna put you. It's not the only way, but if you think about it, you're probably gonna be better off because you're gonna watch and you're in there with a purpose. You watch everything. You're doing your job, but you watching what are you doing? And so the reality is, it doesn't alleviate all the problems, but a motherfucker who ain't worked in a restaurant, you're gonna know a lot more than
a whole lot.
There's some things that you just don't hit that they're gonna hit straight on because you spent 3 years learning the restaurant business.
Yep.
Thanks.
You're saying it's going to be some intuitive things that come with being in the restaurant so long, business so long, dealing with customers. It's going to be some things that, yeah, I got you.
Just most businesses, like he was saying with the classic hip hop lives, I come in with, you know, knowing the production, you know, and we always say you don't know what you don't know.
Absolutely.
You sure don't.
Man.
You sure don't know what you don't know. Okay. Anything else you want to add, or that was pretty much it for the big?
Well, you know, you gotta opt into the information. I think you know, you have to be driven by the right things. You know, a lot of so check this out about Classic Hip Hop Lives. It was not even built on how much money can we make, right? That's a cat note.
Yes, the producer. Yeah, this time it's one of the producers, bro. This is Diamond. And her name is Diamond too. So yeah, I'm sure you know where we. Well, no, I'm sorry. This is Squirt. This ain't Diamond.
Okay.
Yeah, this is Squirt. Yeah.
So it's not even Damn, you threw me off with the motherfucker. That shit completely. He got a cow on him.
Like what is that?
A baby cow.
If I don't do it, you know, she's gonna mess up the whole show. She's gonna cut the show.
I figured I had to put my dog up. What'd you ask? And I'm drinking on the good.
Well, we were on biggest mistakes that we see from client that we see from entrepreneurs, and you started by saying that they don't do the research. You know, and then if that was the first point, that they don't do the research.
So not doing the research, and so that's super important. Mentorship, you know, mentorship is super important. So in my network marketing business, I have a team, man, of 400 people that are in my organization, and what I tell them that's different about this entrepreneur experience than any other entrepreneur experience is, one, your mentors are still in the business that you're in.
Mm-hmm.
And so for them to be able to give you play by play what needs to be done, what's worked for them, they've gone through everything you've gone through, that's invaluable. You know, and so whatever you want to do, finding a mentor is super duper important to what you're doing. And so if you're an entrepreneur, you're looking to do something, and a mistake that people make is you don't seek anyone out, is doing what you're doing. You know, and again, being an entrepreneur is all about where can you cut mistakes, right? Where can you cut the mistakes? Because mistakes can also, they can be time and money. And those are two things you can't, you know, money, yeah, you can get back. The time you can't get back.
Can't get back.
If you fuck up enough money, you might not be able to get that money back, right? Antoine Walker spent a lot of money in his playing career. He won't really be able to get that back after life. He can still make money, but not the type of money that you make being an NBA ball player.
Man, not to mention the money you could have made off that money. See, that's the whole dynamic of money, man.
Absolutely,
you know,
bro. Spot on.
Well, you were mentioning investments, and I think we kind of got away from that. I'm sorry, Kat. Stock market and people doing different investments at early ages as opposed to us. And one thing from my research, you know, acquiring the knowledge, and now I'm getting into an action position. But for my research, Noob, I find that even just by doing investments, even if you're not winning all the time, you're not losing all your money. In other words, if I go out and buy an ounce of sage and smoke it all, right, that money's gone.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had some pleasure from it or what have you, but it's gone, right? But if I went out and bought a box of candy, and even if I didn't sell it all, or if some of it went bad, even if I broke even, and that money's not gone.
Right.
So what investors, you know, what novice or non-investors think is all risk, right? So I'm all of this is risk. But when we're unable to think about, well, when you go buy a car, that's all risk. You ain't getting none of that back. Like everything as a consumer is all risk, and we're somehow okay with that. Right. But when you listen to a Susie Orman, or you listen to people who know the principles that we used to know as a people that we got away from, like I'll be watching Susie Orman, and somebody will be like, I got, you know, 500,000 cash in the bank. You know, they'd be like, no, seriously, bro, I own, you know, a house and a vacation house, and I was thinking about buying my, you know, son an iWatch. And she'd be like, no, you know what I mean? No, you can't afford it. And I'd be like, wow, you know what I'm saying? And then that'll just tell you about the mindset.
Tell you we talked about that. We talked about programming. You know, we talked about programming. Programming is, and people don't realize they're programmed, right? Like however you program, you're programmed that way. I'm programmed a certain way, right? And so it's just, if your programming is a little bit off, and that's what sometimes we don't get. I talk to people all the time, man. Like, you know, how's your credit score? You know, I'm cool. I'm at like a 650. I'm like, you know, 650 doesn't get you the best rates. So if you have a home right now, if you have a car note right now, you know that you're paying more on your money than I would be. I could have your same home and your same car, and they charge you more. They're pimping you. Right?
Not to mention, you can get it up and then possibly get it refinanced and still save.
Right. That's what you want to do. But the reality is, because we're not, you know, one of the things, it wasn't me for a long time, but within the last couple of years, I run my personal life like a business as well. You know what I'm saying? So
I've heard this. Go ahead. Tell me more.
I super run it. I run all my numbers, bro. Everything that's going out, I got it in my spreadsheet, and I know exactly what I'm spending and what's coming in, and I'm running like a business. Like, where can we cut costs? Oh, okay. So, stars. Okay, power's off. Let's kill stars. That'll give me back $10 a month. Man. It'll be off for 6 months. That'll give me $60 back into my household.
That you could invest possibly.
That I can invest possibly, right? And you can, if you focus on running you like a business, wonders can happen, bro. It really set me off. Actually, after I'd done a real estate run for about 89 years, where I was a developer, etc. And it was one day I was living in the West Loop. Good. This is the rooftop parties you're talking about. I mean, it doesn't get no greater. But I was renting. I was renting at a tune of about $3,000 a month. And when I looked and put all of my shit in the spreadsheet, I'm saying, man, on the rent, you're paying $36K a month. And when I looked at the other bill, I said a year, and I said, man, you're paying all of these other shorty bills. I said, well, wow, but you're not getting $36,000 of equity, and you're not able to write off any interest from that $36,000 you're paying. And so again, goes back to information, right? And I knew this already, but you're hustling wrong. And that's when it came paramount to me, like, get your credit right, do this, do that. Make sure that 36,000, that's going into a certain amount of equity. And that's what we miss, man. And so the theme of this conversation we having, bro, is opt into the information.
Yeah.
And know that you don't know certain, and that it can change your life, bro. It can absolutely change your life if you actually embrace information wherever you're at.
Any myths about the being a Black entrepreneur or entrepreneur period that you can clear up, that you'd like to clear up? Any fantasies of myths or anything?
I don't know if there's any myths. Nope. I mean, even some entrepreneurs that might watch this, I'm kind of what you call those hybrid entrepreneurs. Like, I've continued to be an entrepreneur, but I've kept that ace in the hole. I've kept that $150,000, $200,000 job. And so, I've
heard that school of thought. A lot of entrepreneurs, when I do my research, they be like, man, if you got that bag, don't cancel that bag. But it's just a school of thought. But go ahead, bro.
Yeah. There's the biggest downside to that is you got a hell of a cushion. Right. So if you don't have the right ambition, then my business, my passion, whatever, it doesn't have to work. Like I can, if it don't work, it don't work. I ain't gonna have to move out the crib. I ain't gonna have to turn the car.
I got you.
So
I got you.
it can for some people, it can kill. I'm gonna go to bed. I'm tired. I'm gonna go to bed. Where a person who needs to get their mortgage or their rent, I'm going to stay up. And so that can be something that
I see what you're trying to say. It could be inhibiting you, or it could be, in other words, but it's helping him because he's not as thirsty. If I'm talking to him about a property or something, he's not like, I got to have it. And he's turning me off through his desperation. So he's got the job to fall back on. But then the other time, that same grind, no, I've got to sell this, is probably not going to be there as much.
Absolutely. So you just have to, you have to know what you're doing. When I used to manage the meetings, I used to tell them a lot, like, being a struggling artist is cool, but try not being a struggling artist. Because if you're not a struggling artist and you actually have some money, then guess what? You can go book your own comedy show. So the comedians that that you don't have relationships with, you can actually book them because they'll come in for the money.
Yeah.
You put yourself on the show. So now you build a relationship with that comedian and you'll actually make some money off of it, but you can only do that if you have a job and you have income coming in. Right. So at the end of the day, in that particular case, you want a job because you want income, because I'm an up and coming comedian. But if I just keep doing things with local comedians that nobody knows versus bringing comedian where now I can get an audience of 400, now I can do my thing and sell
and have myself, now I paid to bring in Bernie Mac, rest his soul. Right. And then now, Terminator's in there too. Right. They're like, who's this guy?
There you go. Right. like I told you before with Classic Hip Hop Live, I can reach out to Mass Days. I can reach out to Happy. I can reach out to Scarface. They're in the phone.
Yeah.
Right? So I paid to get access.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so at the end of the day, no myths. You know, there's nothing that there's no catch-all. It's just being an entrepreneur is just about learning. It's about having experience, and it's about taking the ride. It's about enjoying. You enjoy the ride more than others, right? And that ride it can be up, it can be down, but at the end of the day, you feel like you're more in control than other folks, right? And so for entrepreneurs, they like to be more in control into their destiny than other people may be.
Okay. Now we got about 10 minutes left, bro, because I told you on time, and we're looking good. We're looking good. Any family quotes, scriptures, words of wisdom that you might be able to hang your hat on, anything your dad, or grandma, anybody like that might have been dropping on y'all?
Nah, bro. I not really.
Anything you hang your hat on, like you're walking around, like, knowledge is power, or anything like that, you know what I'm saying? That, no mantras?
Nah, man. Nah, man.
Right.
Like, first mantra, I want to tell you, like I said it on my call last night. That's the only way I'm saying it now. It's like opt into the information. Like I don't really have a mantra, but I believe in that so much because information everybody has access to. We on YouTube, airing this right now. Everybody has everybody has access to information. Go get it and then start working it out. A lot of times when I talk to a lot of people and they reworking.
Mm-hmm.
You think when Rockefeller started Rockefeller, they think they'd be into clothing and liquor. That wasn't even the idea. We wanted to make dope albums. We wanted to make dope music. But in business, sometimes you start and then opportunities present themselves. And so sometimes, so Gary V, I don't know how to pronounce Gary V's last name, but Gary V is also kind of a virtual mentor. If you check him out, he has I don't know, about 10 letters in his last name. But Gary V, there was a clip I watched one time. He does talks and TED Talks or whatever. He was talking to somebody in the audience and they were like, well, I'm an entrepreneur and, sometimes it's just hard for me to get started because, I don't know where to go and blah, blah, blah. And he was like, well, and based off what dude said, he was like, you know what? You'd be my great number 4. And, motherfucker kind of looking, he was like, you'd be a great executive at hiring my company because you need to know all the shit. He's like an entrepreneur that actually goes out to the forest. They don't know where the fuck they going.
Man.
And they cool with it. They gonna figure it out. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, so your mindset is the mindset of a great executive. So I would
a manager type.
A manager. So I would hire you. You ain't an entrepreneur. You know what I'm saying? An entrepreneur's gonna go out to the forest, look around and be like, I think I go right.
Take that risk. He's gonna hop on a raft and end up on an island where all the resources are that nobody ever knew was there.
Absolutely. And that's kind of how I see entrepreneurship. You gotta have a heart for that. Because some people are just, again, they're wired in DNA. It's like, I need to know where I'm going. I'm not gonna go. Like, I'm not gonna even start if you don't tell me where I'm going. And the beauty of what I do, man, is I don't know what I'm gonna make this year, compensation wise for my job. And I love it. Because I feel like I control it. And that will scare the shit out of some people because they don't know what their number is gonna end up at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, some people can't live like that.
Yeah, they can't live like that. It doesn't work for them. I love it, man. I love to see on December 31st, 2021. I'm like, in the credit business, I made that. Real estate, I actually made $100K from that. I actually made this from the job, and I'm looking forward to that. And that's what drives me through the year is to see what am I going to put on my spreadsheet at the end of the year.
So that's your high. That's your New Year's celebration. It's
Absolutely.
Got you.
Absolutely.
Well, here's one I've been waiting to get to because your brother had everybody's had a great answer. What measure or measures? Well, what do you think we should do as an urban Black community to close the socioeconomic gap with our white/pink counterparts?
What you think I'm gonna say, Noob?
Opt into the information.
That's it, man. That's it.
It's the game changing information.
Exactly the game changing information. So we can make it more difficult than that. But the reality is, so many of us, bro. If you ask us, give me your expertise. What do you have your expertise? Tell me about where you own and have expertise. It's gonna be some shit that at the end of the day, they tell you like I can't do nothing with it. Like, well, where you're an expert at, I can't really do anything with that. You're an expert about all of the last 10 years in the NBA and what people have. Like, I can't do anything with that.
Right.
You know, you're the expert of TV and you can't do anything with that. So at the end of the day, that's just go get the information, man. Go get the information. If everybody keeps individually winning, then we win. Then we actually win. What if Chicago was just on a credit movement and everybody just said, yo, we're gonna get to a 720? Guess what? You're gonna get credit cards, which is access to capital. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be able to now getting denied for rent. And so you can go move where you want to move. And so guess what? Then landlords are gonna have to make sure their property is up to code, et cetera, because everybody can get into what they need to get into. Like it won't happen because it's hard to make, a group of people move. But the reality is a lot of where we're at, and that doesn't downplay systematic racism, this. It doesn't downplay those things. But the reality is, for me, if those things are going to be what they are,
that's a given. Those are a given.
Control the controllables.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so many of us don't control the controllables. We like to talk about what we can't control and where
the givens.
Back.
Right.
Just control the controllables, man. Control the controllables. And it doesn't take long, bro. It doesn't take long. Doesn't matter what you're doing, where you're at in life, go learn about it. And the beauty of YouTube and the internet is you can go learn about it. You can go elevate yourself a few levels, and I promise you that's gonna put you in a different position.
Bro, I heard you in that promo and even in your podcast with Ted Poop with Montez, yeah.
My damn.
And you said there's no fear in you. How you get moving. And see, now you talk a lot about knowledge, and I think your success is two-pronged because some people are just action. I know those people, man, they will take action,
right?
Won't read an instruction, don't have to talk to a mentor. They're just action, and they have level of success.
Yeah.
And they make a lot of mistakes. And then you got people like, I think me, I'm more thought, research. And then you come across a cat like you, feels like it's a perfect storm marrying between the two. That you're going to do the research, but you're not going to sit on that knowledge. You about to get out there and make something happen.
Yeah. Sometimes the research can paralyze you. And it's just kind of coming from a Shark Tank thing again. Sometimes, I've heard Mark Cuban say it's like, go sell your shit. Like you hear perfecting. Go sell it. Go see if people even want it.
See if they want it. Analysis by paralysis. Yep.
Exactly. And that's what a lot of people do is that you don't even know if people want it. Why you thinking of the perfect thing?
Damon says it too. You ain't sold none of this. Yeah.
You ain't sold none of it. So
it happened. It happened with this show. Real talk, man. We started off showing videos on our phones and shit and all that before we figured out what the fuck was going on and what we were doing. And you know what I mean? And we're just pushing ahead because the information and the content needs to be out here.
That's it, bro. We like start and then refine. Start and refine. Whether it's a product, whatever, start and refine. Like sometimes, but the reality is a lot of times people don't get started and doing research. They're scared. They're scared, right? They're scared, and so they never start. But if you're an entrepreneur, you better get started and then refine. I'll start my seasons of my podcast. I don't have all 10 guests. I start though. I start because
I'll get man.
They got you talking about 10 guests. Yeah, we got a year we getting 50. But go ahead, bro. Yeah.
No, but it's important. It's important to get started because sometimes starting can give you the energy once you get the feedback and you see this and that to keep you going or accelerate
it propels you. Yep, it sure does, bro. And you don't know what you don't know. And I don't want to get into private stuff, but it's like pledging Kappa at the Greater Beta chapter, right?
Yeah.
You know, you don't know what you're getting into, right? And then that first day, and then you just got started. And next thing you know, you're finished. I'll just leave it at that. Yeah,
right. That's right.
Right.
So a little bit more between, but I got you.
What's your take on Black Lives Matter?
Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
We know that they do, but you know, whenever somebody takes it and massages it and puts it into something, I'm always a little concerned, right? Like so.
Speak. This is what we want to hear.
Shit, well, no, I'm thinking it through, but like, I guess shit needs a label at the end of the day. Less about labels, more about action, man. Like I always say, man, nobody wants the big back TV no more. They want thin shit because that's old. So everything is supposed to progress. So I love the marching and shit like that, but I have to kind of feel like if it was done in the 50s, the shit probably ain't the primary shit we were doing in the 70s. Maybe it's a social media campaign. Maybe like everything has to grow and evolve. And Black Lives Matter, man. I mean, I don't really deal in the political realm a lot. But it's not my focus, man. Everything for me starts at the crib. It starts at the crib. Man. A lot of times, when it comes to, everything, man, it's Georgia, we got to take it back. Then what? then what rabbit are the Democrats going to pull off for us? Like,
bro, they're not even talking about us right now again. They talk about what's about to happen now. We ain't even.
You know what I'm saying? Ain't no win for that, man. You know what I'm saying? Biden made his record. We give him a pass because he was cool with
man. He was stuffing the guys in prison, man.
Yeah, man. It's just so it's
the whole time.
At the end of the day, we're opting out of information. You know what I mean? We're opting out of information, right? Because the information is out there about Biden, and go listen to the videos.
Man,
they're fucking terrorists. We need to lock them. Not because he
bro. But I literally remember it. Yeah. Because that's how engaged I was in the 90s. I'm like, man, these cats are on some demonic stuff. I couldn't figure it out. But one thing my mom always says, this is always about the money. She always says, follow the money. Turned out it was about the money. It's CCA, Absolutely. Those private prisons.
Private prisons. So, but he talked so dirty about us.
My God.
And so many people just passes because he rocked with Obama. And
Kamala was locking black mothers up for the kids who were on truancy.
Facts, bro. Facts. Like not no
regular. Gonna be better.
Like not no regular. Like on the seek and destroy. And it's just like 20 years later we give a pass because he was cool, our favorite president, and it's just so for us, man. We go in so many directions, brother. Like even now, as I see what's going on now, I hit one of my homegirls. I said, man, if you, and it's one of the big misses of our lifetime, bro, is that we didn't, as a people, we haven't locked into the minister the way that we should have, man. The minister, the nation, man. He's something special. The intellect is something special. The messaging is something special. Talked about America, man.
Bro.
If you ride through Chicago and you picked up your final calls, you watch America is heading toward destruction. What you see in today forever because it was built off of what it was built off of. It was, and he gave all of these nuggets.
It's original sin.
Original sin. He gave all of these nuggets, man, and just. We've decided again to not opt into the information because we want to think differently and we want to believe it's something different. Wow. But we miss it, man. We miss that. And like I told you, the theme of this, man, is if anybody's listening, if you're not where you want to be, it's because you're channeling out certain information and you need to channel it in and watch me. everything will get better, bro. And I'm not saying this from a theoretical. I've done it, bro. So you saying you asked me where you living at now, Noop? I was in the West Loop, $3,000 a month, rooftop parties, all of that. I was with a 559. So I'm still ignorant on certain things when it comes to financial literacy. And now I just told you how I've put $230,000 in my pocket because I've gotten literate. So I went from
just
one
because of knowledge.
Because of knowledge. That's it. I'm the same guy. I took more information in and learned how to strategize from that information, and it puts you in a different place. And so if anybody's downtrodden, you're not where you want to be, what have you, go look for the knowledge to go solve those problems.
It's ironic that that you say information, but for it to be effectively pervade, it has to be turned into knowledge. So
that's real.
That's
true. Information is converted into knowledge, but I think that comes after the action.
Yes. Period. The whole thing.
Yeah. Man. But okay. Noop, I got some quick hits because we're towards the end, man. I appreciate you doing this, bro. And I'm gonna love reviewing this because, bro, this is just expanding me, man. All right. Quick hits. Have you ever seen a unidentified flying object?
I think so.
I
don't have it. I can't remember, but I think so. I know so. I just can't. It was when I was younger, what have you, I believe.
How old were you about?
Man, I don't know, bro. Probably 10, 11, 12, something.
Because we do shows on this, so you know, maybe when we do the next show, we can get into it. All right. Have you ever seen an alien?
No.
Anything supernatural? Spirit, angel, demon?
I haven't, bro. But I got a 6-month-old Frenchie, and this marked. You know, I bought my condo back in March of 2020. Sometime
congrats on that achievement.
Barking, and ain't shit happening. And he's not just a barker, but you know, they say dogs can see spirits.
Yeah.
So like homie's barking. So I'm like, keep at it, bro. You know, go bite. You know what I'm saying? Try to come near me, but that's as close as I can say that I've dealt with.
Bruh, the cats do it too. So yes.
Do they?
In fact, yes.
I didn't know that.
Yep. And I think that's why the Egyptians, why the gods was surround themselves with cats and dogs and stuff, because they probably knew. Yeah. All right. Well, is there a God?
It's definitely a God.
Recommend your favorite Black restaurant. It could be anywhere. Black-owned restaurant.
It's one of my favorites, but he also appeared on season 2 of the Droppin Knowledge podcast. So I want to shout out the Bureau Bar, owned by Kenny Johnson in Chicago. Super good dude. He's from the East Coast. He's from VA.
What's the name of it?
Bureau Bar.
Okay.
Bureau Bar. So he's been in Chicago. He has a Velvet Lounge, or it's called I can't remember the new name of it, but just a good solid brother that grew up on the East Coast, came to Chicago probably 20 years ago, been in the nightlife. Kenny Johnson. So Bureau Bar's just moved to the South Loop, but good brother, man, and provides a nice upscale sort of place for us to enjoy ourselves. And
so it won't be any twerking on tables up at that.
Maybe a party where he's trying to get to a certain number.
Hey, what type of food do they have, bro? Is it just American or soul food?
It's probably more American, but he usually ties into a nice chef. So it's not burnt wings. You can go find you a good, well prepared meal.
Yeah, upscale. Like we had a couple events there, so
yeah, exactly.
So and it was a very nice atmosphere. You know, it's right off Roosevelt and Halsted, right in that area, right
he's
there.
Not there anymore. He's not there anymore. He's now he's now on 21st and State. So he's literally right down the block from me now.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Moved to the South Loop. So
21st is that? That's Cermak. He probably got the old Catfish Digby place. There used to be Catfish Digby restaurant, man. That place flipped over, so I wouldn't be surprised.
I worked there. That was funny. That would really be a trip.
And you probably worked there with my mom, but we sidetracked.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. All right. So okay, so we got restaurant and book. That's what we got to recommend a book outside of, a spiritual book. But if you want to say the Bible, you can say it, but then recommend another book as well.
Books. So I have one. I'm gonna shout out my brother. So this is here. Can you guys see that?
Africans who wrote the Bible.
Yes, this is recommended by my man, the Nuke from Fisk, Willie Lynch Jr. He's a comedian as well. He's my guy.
He's Willie Lynch Jr. What a name!
Yes.
Yeah, I'd love to meet his dad and punch him right in his face.
Hey, man, he's a great guy. That's the guy that made that video that you love so much about Founders Day.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
That's him.
Yeah. Well, I'm just making a joke. I mean, Willie Lynch. I mean, you guys know.
Yeah. So Willie Lynch Jr. I work with him in the comedian realm, but he's our new super solid brother from East St. Louis.
Old school from the boogie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think he might be related to Dennis. You know how they all related to me saying.
You're right. Man, they've been doing that for years, man. My cousin come down. Y'all ain't all cousins. And if y'all are, something wrong down there in the
What's going on?
Dennis Starling, shout out to Nuke. But
big up, Nuke.
A book that was important to me was Seceding Against the Odds by John H. Johnson. I remember I was
It's a beta Nuke, ain't it?
John H. Johnson. No, he's not a beta Nuke.
I'm thinking of Bob Johnson.
Right.
Yeah. All right, go ahead.
John H. Johnson. He's founded Jet.
Ebony and Jet. Yeah.
Etc. So I was on my way. I can't remember. I was flying somewhere, and I took his book, and I was voraciously reading it. So it's probably 2003, and that's what gave me the. So what I took away from that book is he was just a cat, black cat, but because he created something that drew black cats in, it was think of it as your BET. Like you check out Jet or Ebony back in the day, and you getting all that.
Yeah, the Chicago Defender.
Especially back then, you couldn't get that information, and so, but
you couldn't get it nowhere else.
You couldn't get it nowhere else. So because he had black cats on lock, he met like 7 of the presidents. They'd have to invite him there because basically he was access to Black America. You know what I'm saying? And so when I read that book, that inspired me to actually create one experience, which we haven't talked about, but that was one of my first major projects at the end of 2003. And what I set out to do is I wanted to create something that was inspired by XXL, the source. So it was inspired hip hop entertainment, but this was around the time that video had started to become prevalent. Not big time, but I wanted to take those interviews that they'd always put in print, and I wanted to make those interviews video, right? So I at that particular time, I went out and connected with. So I have the Kanye West interview in December of 2003. 2 months before the college dropout.
Wow.
Right? I have interviews with, Rick Ross 2 years in 2004 before Hustling came out in 2006.
I was going to mention Rose with him being a guard and saying that he remember he was an ex-guard, but he was saying that he was trying to win. It was kind of what Nuke was just saying. He was using it as a means to an end. But go ahead, bro. I didn't mean to sidetrack. You brought up Rose.
At the end of the day, that project, and I forget all the people, man. I mean, I talked with
it was so many.
It was so many, but I remember Rose specifically. Well, let me bag back, and I know we ended up, but I want to give a shout out to.
Take your time.
But he's a cat named DJ Irie. He's the official DJ for the Miami Heat. So he DJs their games when
big ups,
open, etc. But I was in Miami one time just kicking it, and we listened to the radio station, and I'm hearing music that we don't hear in Chicago. I'm like, why is Miami getting shit that we don't got? Right. Major artists. And I'm like, wow. And so I went back. So it was the mix was so dope while we was kicking it in the crib or whatever down in Miami that I'm like, who is this? And it was DJ Irie, who I never heard of. I emailed the cat. Like, bro, I was in Miami having a good time. Bro, the sex you did was amazing. Hit me back. We connected. Next time I went down to Miami, I was like, yo, I got this one experience project. You know, here's what it is. I like to, you know, get in tune with artists, et cetera, whatever. That man hooked me up with Trick Daddy. At the time, you probably don't remember Jackie O. There's a chick named Jackie O made the song called Pussy. She didn't have a long whatever, but it was hot then. He hooked me up with Luke.
I think I know Jackie O, but go ahead, bro.
Yeah. So I got in tune with all of those people who did interviews for me for my One Experience project. When I got with Luke, it was the craziest time, bro. I got with Luke. Luke took us to a strip club, you know, where he was hosting something, was the wildest shit ever. And then took us back to some place where he was directing the porno. So we was there while he was directing the porno. Like, bro, I just want to interview. I don't need to live. I don't need to live vicariously through you. But this man showed us all this love, but it was so different from Chicago. Chicago cats ain't got a song on the radio, but they standoffish.
Yeah.
South joint. And then, you know, Luke was like, yo, you need to get with Rick. And so he put me in tune with Rick Ross. We did an interview with Rick Ross. It's iconic. Like if you check it out on YouTube now, that video probably got 3, 4, 5 million hits over the time. But it was a joint where he, you know, he pulled out a gun while he was freestyling. He was dissing T.I. So this is probably 04, but it was just, it was iconic, man. So I've always been in this space, Nope. I've always been in this space. I've always enjoyed it. It's Black culture.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, and it's just one of those things, man, that as I look back and I look at my story, it's some things I forget, bro, that some people, I'll run into somebody and they'll tell me, I'm like, oh, damn, we did do that. We did. Like, it was, it's really, you know, I never want to expire myself, brother, but I'm 45, man. At 45, I did it every which way, man. I didn't do boat parties. I seen my brother on the middle of Lake Michigan listening to house music, DJ by my man Sean T, just having the greatest of times. And I'm his little brother. You know what I'm saying? And you got some lady there, whatever the case may be. And it's just like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like, really, at the end of the day, bro, it's been a great ride, man. And so I love what you all are doing, because a lot of times you get a little bite, but your shows allow for folks to stretch out, and you allow for a real story and a full story to be told. And so for me, you know, ain't nobody gonna really let you talk to them for 3 hours about them. You know what I'm saying? So you guys allow me to stretch out. And so trust me, I'm gonna take this joint and cut it up in so many ways to benefit me and to monetize this content.
Hey, I'm just saying, like the level and the amount of gems dropped has been, you know. So, you know, the Self Love Nation,
man, we got to get your brother back. I got to tell him there's sibling rivalry. You know, KB came around here, slapped you around. No, I'm just playing. Look at Tori's face. I'm talking about his ship. You see how
because you know what I mean? You brothers are great, man, because you know that when you guys hit the scene, I was still in high school. So I heard about Tori and Mills and Self Love, but you know, who are these guys? You know, and as I've gotten to know you guys, man, you guys are special. You're unique. As I've looked at what you all have done here, of course, my business mind is saying, how can I get them on the Droppin Knowledge NetworK? You know, so
anytime,
so that we can pull it together. And
hey, we definitely gonna talk.
So I'm not only talking about.
I know
you're doing y'all. I'm doing me. How do we mesh it?
Yeah.
So we do bigger things. That's what sometimes we miss. Is sometimes people are doing 10 different projects.
Yeah.
Why not pull it all together? Why not do No Limit and get all on the same label and make the label go crazy, and then we'll just
I've been thinking that. So yeah, we're on the same vibration. So
yes, sir. Yeah.
You know, my ego, I dropped my ego a long time ago where I left my gavel.
Yeah. Indeed, man. So I just I really appreciate what you all are doing. I appreciate the energy, the effort, what you all have put into building this platform. And at the end of the day, it's needed. And the one thing that, you know, this world has helped us to do, man, is the beauty of the internet, bro, is people are watching what you all are doing that you have no idea. And it's helping them. It's giving them value. Yes. And at the end of the day, that's what sometimes in our community we miss, man. And that's one of the things that I try to speak out on as well, is that if I'm winning, I have one daughter, you know what I'm saying? So if I'm just helping my little inner circle, it's cool, I'll win, but how can I spread this out? How can I take what I got and spread it to more people so that it impacts more people? And that's what sometimes we don't do. You know, our folks who have made it and doing well for themselves, they take care of their family unit, but take a little bit of what you got. You ain't got to do a lot of heavy lifting, but just make sure that it can spread out to other folks, because some folks it's somebody on here, their mama ain't on shit and they don't know their daddy or whatever, but they run across this ain't that network, and they see an episode that grabs them and they learn. And Mills and Tori, who they have no idea who you guys are, but they sitting here watching your joint, and it's feeding them and feeding them and feeding them. That's what we have to be more
cognizant of.
Cognizant of and intentional about, because that stuff matters, man. And that can help a person who doesn't have a circle or a network, but they tune in to you every week because they like your flavor, they identify with you, and they're getting fed. And that actually turns them into, because I got those folks, man, even though I'm where I'm at, Jay Morrison, man, I don't know. Well, I did meet Jay because he does corner classes and he came to Chicago, West Side. I went out there, checked him out, stood in the rain, whatever. But it's a cat like that who's impacted me and gave me things. I bought this real estate class for $500, and man, it was the best investment I ever made, because a man broke down real estate in its smallest compounds, and I got it, and it's like this cat I never met. And so you guys are doing that for somebody. You don't know their names yet, but you're doing things that cats are feeding off of that's going to help them in 8 years. And be like, you know what? It was actually the Self Luv Show that I saw on YouTube. I used to watch these cats every single week.
Right, when they only had 200 followers. Right.
But it feeds them, man. So anytime anybody takes time out of their life to put something together to feed others, that's admirable, man. So salute to you guys.
Man, appreciate those words, man. Appreciate those words. And first, I'm going to ask you if there's anything we didn't cover. But before we do that, I just wanted to piggyback on something that you just said, brother. You know, us as a society, you know, the fact that, you know, at some point it became just good enough for us to say, yeah, you know, I'm straight, my daughter's straight, get yours. And that is what's wrong with us. That's why we're in the place that we're in, besides of the uncontrollables, besides the racism, right, and the slavery. The fact is that we've been programmed and conditioned to the point where, you know, this man can sit here and say he had a Jewish person, you know, give him an opportunity. I've had that. I've had black people give me opportunities, you know, in every race. You know, what it comes down to is being in play. You have to be in play. Nobody's came in here and said they're sitting on the couch and somebody knocked on their door and said, do you want to be a manager at CDW? You know, they start out at the bottom level or whatever and say, man, this is what it is. Let me go for it. Let me give it all I got and go for it. And that way I know if it's not coming back, this ain't about me. This is about the system or the product. Right. I gave it my all. And then by you giving your all, people recognize that. You never know who's seeing it, who's looking at you.
Never know who's watching. Period.
And anybody who owns a business who's truly about that guap, they're going to respect anybody that can go out in Chicago get it.
Right. That's right. Those facts. I'm watching us on YouTube right now. So shout out to I'm assuming that's Nuke Mike Brown. Fall 93, shout out to Mike.
Yeah, that's it. Money B, that's Money B. Yeah.
That's Money B.
Yes, sir.
I see Gorilla in the building. You see me, you can tell I'm a podcast type cat. So I'm doing multiple things while we chat. You know,
like we do.
But we engage the audience, you know. So
This is beautiful, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, I did want to ask you though, before we ask about anything we didn't cover, Lil Rel. Now, you know, I teased it a little bit. Now, what was your relationship with Lil Rel, and did you in fact discover Lil Rel? Tell us about that. And big ups to Lil Rel.
I don't know how to use the word discover. That's like an industry word.
Christopher Columbus discovered America.
Like, man was born before I met him.
Right, his mom was discovered it. Right. But I got you. I know.
The sperm discovered the egg.
But how did y'all meet? How did this happen, man?
So, being an entrepreneur, so one experience, right? So one experience, I wanted to take it to, it's probably 06. I wanted to take it to the next level. Prior to that, it was about me getting with cats, interviewing cats, putting that information out there best way that I could. You know, Facebook wasn't opened up yet, you know, in 06.
Right.
YouTube, it started in 04, so it was early on. Cats wasn't really even on YouTube like that. And so, you know, so she always corrects me. So my homegirl, Trina, who I think knew both of us, but I want to say the actual connection happened through my girl, Brittany, who passed, but she knew Rel, she knew me. She was working with me via one experience, but she knew Rel. So I had to come up with a concept that I wanted to create. So one experience up to that point was all interviews, but I wanted to create a show. And the show was supposed to be a blend between, if I can remember it, a blend between Bill Maher's show. So, you know, it's Real Time with Bill Maher. Also, The Basement, 106 in Park type joint.
Yeah.
And then Oprah. So it was kind of a mosh
right.
Of what I wanted to create. And so I was looking for two hosts. I wanted a male and a female. And so my shout out to my homegirl Cassie with the Black Mall. She's all about, you know, blackness.
Big ups.
She came out and she plenty of people auditioned, but Cassie was kind of the one we locked in on, and Lil Rel was the male. And so that was how I met Rel. And at that particular time, we just ended up chopping it up. I mean, this early Lil Rel, so he might have done BET Comic View once. He was a fairly unknown, you know what I'm saying? But we chopped it up. I told him who I was, what I was about. He was kind of looking for somebody to take him to the next level, which a lot of entertainers and artists are looking. And we built. We left there. You know, it didn't hurt. I was in the big boy range. I went back over. I went back over by the United Center where I had the 2-floor condo with the hardwoods, the stainless.
Right.
You know, all this joint as a young dude. And Rel would tell you now, like, I never met a nigga like this who didn't sell drugs, who had what you know what I'm saying? Like, it was super.
Who was from the shop, from the South. You know what I'm saying? Right.
Yeah. So he just like, I had never seen this before. And man, from that point on, it was really like big bro, little bro. You know what I'm saying? Because he didn't, you know, he knew funny, but not much more than that. And he
didn't know money.
Yeah, if you talk to Rel now, he'll tell you, he like, man, knowledge smartest dude. Even today, he'll tell you, knowledge smartest dude I ever met, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's so. We built because I believed in him at a time that it wasn't fashionable to believe in nobody. I just felt like homie is unique, and I think I can help him. And we just locked in. And even as we do it today, man, like, who's going to? So, you know, Mills and Tory has a show. Who's going to lock in and be dedicated to your success like you guys are? And that's what Rel found in me. Like, he found somebody who wanted him to be as successful as he wanted to be. And it's like, damn, how that work?
Man. And somebody trustworthy.
And somebody trustworthy.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so I just happened to be in that season, man. And so we built a great relationship. We had a great run. And I feel like, you know, I got him to where he needed to get to. And if I ever fell on hard times or whatever, I could reach out to him, but
for sure.
But I don't expect to follow him.
Ain't none of that, right?
That ain't how I'm built. But it's gonna be he just hit me a couple weeks ago because he got tired into something. He like, yo, you still got this? It's just like that'll be a forever ongoing thing because you grew together. You grew together, flew together, and it wasn't no fakeness to it. It was real. And so it's just one of those, you know, you do the TV shows, it's one of those lifelines that if you ever need, you'd be like, let me pick up the phone and do a lifeline. And that's how, you know, so before COVID, when I put this project together and I was like, yo, I want to open a performance joint, comedy, live music, etc. Hit Real, he like, what you need? You know what I'm saying? What you want to do? Like, and it was quick and easy like that, man. The way it should be.
That's how it's supposed to be, man.
That's how it's supposed to be. So that's us, man. We just, we brothers, bro. We brothers. And I mean, during the time when Montez and Emmett and Montez was doing like their funding to small businesses or whatever, like, they extended along Lil Real, right? So they extended along.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, it's just family, man. That's my brother. And that's what it'll always be. And so I'm super happy for him, man, because we used to have those conversations, bro. It seems crazy. We sitting in Harvey, he used to live, I had a building in Harvey, a 2-flat. He lived upstairs, I lived downstairs. Him and his wife and the kids lived upstairs, I lived downstairs. We used to talk about being #1 in the game. We used to talk about what he's experienced right now. And so it's really surreal to me when I talk to other people. I'm like, there ain't many times you can take a cat, run the West Side, living in Harvey, and y'all talking about ideas of grandeur and
international ideas, right?
International ideas, and he's hit it, bro. He's on
Universal
major movies, internet. Like it's an amazing experience, and I share that with other people about just success and how he was tunnel vision and how he always believed that this was his destiny. You know what I'm saying? And so just amazing to see, man. And I'm super proud of him, happy for him. And yeah, man, I mean, like I said, shit just really getting started.
For sure. He seems like a great dude, you know, from what you could tell. And I haven't heard any, you know, one thing about Chicago talks, you know what I mean? And if he was tipping like Pippin, go ahead. Go ahead.
Hey, I got a real early Lil Real story. We were doing an open mic on the West Side. One of our artists lived over there, and he was trying to dip into the comedy area, you know. And Lil Real was the comedian on the open mic.
So he was like the host?
Yeah. And he, like for probably about 6 weeks.
You was working with him?
Yeah, man. Dude, super cool, super solid then, you know.
Did he have you rolling?
Did he have you rolling especially after I performed the song, and it was called Would You Be Mine? And it was only like a few broads in the place. So it was one, I went to the finest one and basically did the song to her. And he came out there, was like, man, he was like, man, she was like really into it. Like that she wasn't sitting there with a guy.
You're right. He telling you, man, holla at her. Hey, but did you
it was funny.
But you on Lil Real, did you know that his connection with KB at the time with Knowledge?
I think it was before.
It's probably before.
It was before. It was before the contact with
before One Experience and all that.
Yeah, because it was Lil Real, Wildcat.
Nietzsche probably.
Yeah. Nietzsche, yes, all of them. They would rotate. They would rotate hosting the open
Was
mics.
it out west or out south?
It was out west. Yeah, our artists out west had set that all up. You know what I mean? So we just went roll.
Yeah. Well, KB, Knowledge, anything that we didn't cover that you would like to cover?
Brothers, this has been an expansive conversation. I probably have not had this type of conversation. I mean, I'm drinking my Glenlivet, so that's a good start. But so that's usually a good starter pack for actually creating this type of conversation. But normally I don't get to share as much as we've shared. So I definitely appreciate it. I mean, of course, there's 45 years of life to tell you about. So there's definitely things that we did not cover, but they're just those are for part 2. Of the point. But again, I appreciate you guys, man. I'm in this space. I'm in the podcast space. I I keep my people channeled to 45 minutes, and I always feel like, wow,
I know
what we can cover.
I'm trying to figure out how he does. I'll be watching the shows like,
yeah, because he's so disciplined.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you guys giving me this platform. But for anybody, because I always keep my hat on, man, in terms about empowerment and putting us in a different position. If you didn't, you probably didn't catch all of it. Go back and watch all of it, right? And support these brothers. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button. If any of my people are watching it, which I'm going to put it back out, make sure you support them. Hit the subscribe button again. Really dope show. Like really dope show in terms of production of what they're doing, the type of guys that they are, the type of information and conversations they're having. So make sure that you hit the subscribe button on this. And I appreciate your support. And so make sure that you connect with me, Knowledge Beckham, on all platforms, on Instagram, Knowledge Beckham, on Facebook, Knowledge Beckham. But more than anything, my 2021 mantra is plug in and opt into the information. Right? If you opt into this information, I promise you, you'll look up in 6 months and like, what the hell didn't happen to me? And life is on a trajectory that it's not been on, because now guess what? You're not just operating and moving, but you're operating and moving with information.
Wow.
That will have you operate differently. And so, again, this is not theoretical. I've done it. I've actually, in every particular space, I've done it. I didn't know what was happening with, why the hell is my band and my artist not sounding the right way? Well, guess what? I tapped into Tori Smith, who has the information and the education about that space. And now my concerts sound better and my fans have a better experience, right? So it's always about tapping into information to take you to that next level. And so be hungry about that shit. Watch CNN, watch people taking over the Capitol, all that. That ain't got nothing to do with you. Tap into information that you need to tap into. And if we keep making every household 98-27 to 98-29 and 98-30, if we keep making all these households right, then there's really no stopping us at the end of the day. Go vote or don't vote. But if the households are getting better and the households are getting smarter, then they got to see us.
That's
all the time.
You Self, would you classify this as a bona fide silverback? Are you
ultimate, like his brother, my ship, that how
that made me.
Yeah, your AD. Yeah, it classifies us as so the same. He said I learned about my brother from you, and I'm like, just me being me. So,
KB, your brother used to be like, yeah, that was a sweet one, huh? Yeah, that was a sweet one. I'm like, you're in charge, you know what I mean? Like he ain't had nothing to do with it. You know what I mean?
That's hilarious, man.
Hey, but Self, go ahead. You was wrapping that up because we got the game and we got the 9 at 9, man. It'll take 3 minutes of your time. You can select. So the game, how that works is we drop, the game is a rapper. And he makes a lot of songs that where he drops names. So we have a game that we call the game name game. Big ups to the game. Well, we'll give you a Chicagoan normally, and then we'll give you quotes, hints, and then you have to come up with the name of who we're talking about. Or we can do the 9 at 9, which is we give you a pair of items and you select the one that you feel fuzziest about. Which game would you like to play?
You pick for me.
All right, Self, you pick.
9 at 9.
All right, we're rolling with the 9 at 9, bro. So, all right.
Can I get a 2-minute break?
A 2-minute break?
Yeah, 2-minute break.
Absolutely. So, block his thing, and
he knows.
I know how to block it, but play some music, have some conversation, please.
I'll take care of it.
Yeah. So, man, Self, I couldn't imagine.
The man, this is incredible. Like I've never heard KB talk this much. He is very similar to me.
Yeah. If he's talking about something, yes.
I'm just
talk
saying,
to Self about basketball and rapping, he'll talk all day. But go ahead, bro.
Yeah, it's just certain situations where I'll just be quiet. I observe more to learn and try to expand. And to get him to talk this much has been amazing. and he's pretty much said that. So, and the questioning has been amazing as always.
Appreciate that. Well, and I can see the comparison that your ship makes between you and knowledge. You know?
Yeah. I can see it better now.
Yeah,
way better. And I had no doubt in his brother, no doubt in him, but I just didn't really see it because, like, even though we've done business and act, you know, we stayed in our lanes or whatever, it was no really much talking past the business of it. You know what I mean? Because of the timing.
Right.
And, you know, it's so much going on, and everybody's got to talk to him. You know what I mean? So
a lot of moving parts, and he's making the show happen.
Right. So, you know.
Yeah, that's just a big ups, though. You know what I mean? Like how y'all were able to even work together, and you know, with the whole thing. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I started off as a you know, a paid. You know, not paid. I paid to be there to see the show.
Yeah, as a guest customer.
Yeah. So, you know what I mean? And then I saw that you know, it wasn't as good as it could be. And I saw who was doing the sound, and the production wasn't.
That person had no idea what they were doing. They were trying their best, but they they didn't have the knowledge. They didn't have the information.
Yes.
Right.
In some cases I just saw they didn't have the effort. They were looking at me when I was telling them exactly what it is. You know,
so what you're saying is they weren't taking it as seriously as they could have, probably.
Right. Until the very next show, Knowledge walked me up to them and was like, "Yeah,"
because they knew you knew what you were talking about. Yeah. Now they know they can't take advantage of knowledge or his lack of knowledge in that arena. Yes. And when you're like, you guys aren't doing your job, basically.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. And then they brought in different people that I knew and approved of to do the sound, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was, yeah.
All right. Well, let's run through this so we can let our guests go. All right. Knowledge, we got the 9 at 9.
Let's get it.
Uncle Remus, Harold's Chicken.
I think I've only did Uncle Remus once, so I'm going to do Harold's Chicken because I'm from out south. You know, that's territorial.
Remy Martin, Hennessy.
I've canceled both of them shits a long time ago. But,
I forgot to give you an option. You can always say pass. I forgot to give you that. Like if you're indifferent to it, it's just like pass.
I'll pass.
Okay. Chiraq, Grey Goose.
Don't do them. Pass.
Dave Chappelle, Martin Lawrence.
Dave.
Derek Chauvin, George Zimmerman.
Fuck them both. You're my dog. He got something.
Yeah.
He got something to say about him. I got all black Frenchies, so we all black over here. So.
All right. We got 6 more. Bill Cosby, R. Kelly.
Bill Cosby.
PlayStation, Xbox.
So side note, my girl at the time, she was the first person to sue R. Kelly and get a settlement. So that was my lady for like.
Really?
Yep. Yeah. Help me actually buy my first building in Evergreen Park, a 2-flat, from this settlement.
Yeah.
So just FYI. I won't.
Wow.
That's my girl.
Was she part of the? Because I didn't watch the documentary.
She didn't do it. She decided not to do it, but she was the first person that actually got the settlement from him.
Yeah, it took a lot of courage because you know a lot of those victims don't want to. All right, NBA Live or NBA 2K?
I don't really know if I ever did one of them, man. I'm focused.
Bob Marley, Muhammad Ali.
It's a great one. I probably rock with Muhammad Ali.
These I don't even want to give them to him. They're offensive. Okay, Cadillac, Lincoln.
You know, Tesla, nigga. You know, I Tesla, Benzes, I get it, man. I just pass.
All right, so you pass it. George Washington, Abraham Lincoln.
Pass, bro.
Pookie or 12?
12.
That's 5-0. So Pookie or 5-0?
Thought you were talking about Pookie like Chris Rock out of
Well, Pookie, like, you know, your thug type, you know what I mean? Your urban type, run around the city doing what he does, lack of knowledge and information. And then you got 12.
outside of my space, so
Pass?
yeah.
Okay. The Golden Bear or Tiger Woods?
Pass, bro.
Jackie Robinson, Babe Ruth?
I mean, I got to rock with Jackie Robinson.
All right, this is 2 more, bro. I promise. 2 more. Tupac, B.I.G.
Oh, I rock with Pac.
Abraham Lincoln. We go high, Barack Obama.
Oh, we definitely do Obama. Not perfect, but we definitely do Obama.
That would be offensive. All right, here's one I got to ask you. Malcolm X or MLK? And that'll be the last one. Who do you say?
Malcolm.
All right. Yeah, you said Malcolm. I don't think we've had an MLK.
Man, we really need to have a discussion about this, because at the end, you know, between the transition of them, like, they both have adjusted. They had.
Well, yeah, Self, that's a whole show. So we'll keep
Yes,
that in
that's what I
mind.
mean. So,
yeah, we'll keep that in mind. So, Noop, we don't want to hold you up, bro. I know you got bags to fill up with money, but we don't kick Greater Beta Noops out. We don't kick anyone out. So whenever you're done with us, good brother, if you don't have any big ups, you know, shout outs, then you can show yourself out, bro.
Hey, man. Again, I appreciate you, brothers. I'm a supporter of This Ain't That Network and the Self Luv Show, and so you can expect my support. And so, you know, we need to collaborate, brothers. I was just talking to my girl before this, is that it's great that we all create our own things, but we have to find a way where they cross-sect and we can help each other. And so looking forward to that conversation. Shout out to my brother, your first guest on the Self Luv Show, JB. You know, so man, he's been the guy for everything. For me, he's been the blueprint. You know, even if I don't follow the blueprint 100%, he's the blueprint, right? So he lets me know that there's a blueprint out there. And so whenever I want to jump in and out of the blueprint, it's there to jump in and out of, you know, so shout out to him.
Like, get back on the path, man. Get back on the path. Right.
You silverback it. It's all good.
Yeah, exactly. Shout out to my daughter, Carlisha.
Big ups.
20 years in the game. You know, I had her at an early age, but she gave me focus as a young guy. So I know I had to come with it.
Man,
no playing around. You know, shout out to my parents. My parents are just they were, you know, were and are amazing. You know what I'm saying? They really set me on a path to do what I do. And man, so many others, man. Just like anybody, I consider myself to be a success with a lot more on the table to go eat up and bite. But at the end of the day, there's so many people that contributed to my success, even brothers like yourselves, man, that you know, you give me a full circle and a full look at what Noops look like. You know, so even if it's that, so many people have touched me, man, and helped me to kind of become who I am. And so too many to name, but it's all love. I appreciate the platform, appreciate the opportunity. But what I do want to leave you with is that if there's anybody checking this out and you have less than a 750 credit score, I have a podcast, then you need to reach out to me, because at the end of the day, you either don't give a shit about burning money or you don't know. And either way, I can turn you toward the light. So connect with me and I'll put you on a path that a few years later, you'll be like, man, wow, I met Knowledge. I didn't know him from the Self Luv Show. I connected with him. I'm here right now. Man, I'm glad I met that brother because he had a good heart and he put me on a path that I was not on. And so if you're hearing that and this is you and I can add some value to you, then allow me to do so, but appreciate you. Noops, thank you. Appreciate the platform. Man, it's been a great time, yo.
And Noop, this platform's your platform.
Yes.
This platform's my platform. From Inglewood, California to Chicago, Illinois.
From
This
the south side
platform
of the
was
shine.
for you and me.
Let's put this deal together, Noops. Though I love the This Ain't That, network, and I love what I'm doing with the Droppin Knowledge NetworK. But I'll be happier when we figure out a collaboration that.
It's already in motion. We're gonna get Diddy involved and also Bob Johnson. Y'all think I'm playing? Watch, I got 6 degrees of separation on Diddy. You know what I mean?
Let's get it.
Yeah. All right.
So, I appreciate you all, Noops. Yo,
man, love you, Noop.
Yep. Happy J5 to you.
Happy
J6, but
yes, sir.
Happy belated. Yeah.
fade.
Yo.
All right, so everybody, man, if y'all didn't know, that was Knowledge Beckham, and he's dropping knowledge. He's from the Droppin Knowledge NetworK. Check out his Droppin Knowledge podcast because you can get more and more of that knowledge. And Game Changer Capital. If you got a business or something and you need to, get some capital to do something for that business, maybe they can, write you a loan. And then you got 9800 Woodlawn Holdings. Love that name. I mean, it's pretty simple. Excuse me. And that's his realty entity. If you want to contact Knowledge, you can hit him at Knowledge Beckham on Facebook and Instagram, Knowledge Beckham. Yeah, man.
And if you're watching this, like I say for us, I say for him, like, subscribe, share. It's much needed. It's necessary for our community, man. This is how we grow, period. We expand each other. Just through conversations. And it's amazing how the people that we conversate with have a vast wealth of information that they're willing to share.
And it's lessons, not lectures.
Man, all the time.
Right?
So
how magnanimous would college have been if they were just bringing in people giving you lessons, not lectures? If the professor just ran up there and said, I got self-love, he's actually sold millions of records and he's about to sit here and talk to you. How magnanimous would that have been? That
would be like, too much like a dream come true. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those institutions weren't set up for that though. So
because bro, why you say, come on, man, and I've heard other students say it. Every level of school, people be sitting around like, if he was so smart, why is he here?
Man.
I mean, it's wrong. It's a wrong thought process, but I think they should use both. You should have lectures, but I want our kids to have more
independent thought,
yes.
like when
people who've actually doing it. Yes.
My experience, early experience was they just gave you what to do. They didn't tell you how to do it. It was some Montessori type schools that I was going to. They weren't Montessori, but they were that model. And they just gave you a list of stuff to do. And
it told you to figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, you could ask questions about points of the list, but it was no instruction about it.
Because that's a school of thought that you learn by doing.
Yes, and they were all about independent thought and developing that. And I think that has to be put into our education system, to a certain degree. It's got to be breeding.
Here's an issue.
Critical thinkers.
Well, and that would come from also a parenting, because, when you talk about critical thinking, you can't shut it off when the kid comes home and says, because I'm your father, that's why. And I think a lot of parents are aren't down with the critical thinking at an early enough age either, because they don't want their child questioning.
That's facts.
What do you mean Santa Claus came down that chimney? You know what I mean? How can he fit? We don't even have a chimney. What do you mean? Right.
That's facts. Because my mom put me in those schools, so she knew what I was being exposed to.
Correct.
And was willing to deal with that.
Correct. Now, as a parent, she had to be able to deal with you being an independent thinker. Correct.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So I would
as
fancy
your
to
mom
say
and putting you in the situation she did, because
my mom and my grandmom encouraged independent thought.
I know.
People probably didn't know as much about my grandmother, but she did, man. My grandmother was a G. I've told you about it. Yeah. She encouraged independent thought,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you were going, I think you said it. Yeah, you said it. If you were going to be the type of gump, or if you had no gumption and you had no plans, then people could direct you around and Yes. So if you're a gump, I'm not saying she'll treat you like a gump, but if that's your role, then that's your role.
And she'll put you in the place that's good for you.
Yes. But she welcomed, but if you were an independent thinker, she didn't.
And
she
would listen because she was an independent thinker.
Yes. World traveler. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And speaking of, if you were a dentist, I'd want to hear from a dentist. That's what we got. The law.
All right. You know what? Next week, I think I'm due for. Yeah, I think I might try to go in that day. Earlier that day,
or the day before. That'd be nice. We can get some footage, and then you know what I mean. Even if you can get in before, make a promo video or something.
All right.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah. I didn't think about that. So I'll try to do it as soon as I can.
Yeah, we're all brainstorming. You know what I mean. So it's all coming up now. But for you guys who don't know, what we do is health, and we have a urban Black health series that we run. Self Love and I, we've done one. It probably got deleted. And I'm gonna comment on that deletion. Anyway, we did it on water. We did a water study, and so now the next one's going to be on dental health.
Amazing. Hey,
right?
Hey, I'm just going to say and put it out here right now. This is my dentist, and I am 50 years old, as we know. So this is the best dentist I've ever encountered in my life. I'm not biased by, because it was a Noop that was my dentist before him. Okay.
I've actually heard this. I'm being facetious.
This guy is the most conscientious and the most
gentle, and he'll pump you full of the painkillers. He's not shy with those.
When he's working with you, he kind of feels what you're going through, like to a certain. Is that bothering you? Like it'd be on the border of bothering me. He's like, is that bothering you? You know what I mean?
So you're talking mild discomfort that you can deal with because you're a beta Noop.
Yeah. And I've been to other dentists, and
you've been run over by a car. Right?
Well, yeah.
So your pain threshold's got to be, I hate to sound like a pink doctor, but you're
way up there. The worst thing getting run over by the car and all that was when both hips being bone to bone. That was the torture.
Yeah, and it stopped your hooping like you wanted it. You know what I mean?
It stopped sleep. It stopped everything. It was horrible. Like
that's a lifestyle change though, Noop, because you were still hooping like damn near every day, except for when your knee would flare up.
Yeah. Once I got my brain back together, my hips was still bad, but I still was hooping all the time.
I remember. Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah. And you didn't take the dope they was trying to give you.
No, I couldn't.
Yeah.
I didn't like to, hallucinate.
Boy,
but because the conversation I was having was so deep, I wonder if I should have stayed in the conversation. You know what I mean? But I opted out after that. I was like, I can't be talking to somebody sitting there that's not there. You can't be laughing and cracking up, having a good old time, and somebody that's on this dimension walks in and is talking to me, and then I look over and there's nobody there out there.
Is that what was happening?
Yeah, like it was I had a whole conversation. I had I'm laying in the bed, like, they said, okay, they had stopped the morphine, and then because they don't want you hooked on that. So they stopped the morphine after I don't know how long it was or whatever. Yeah. And then they started giving me some,
some sort of pills. You told me the name. I can't think of it.
Yeah, whatever it was, And
it was good stuff though. That was all over the street.
Man, they man, I was like, man, I had a long old conversation, just life changing.
With who? With who? No.
I really don't know. It was a you know what I mean? It was a
an entity.
Yeah.
Was it talking back? Was there?
Yes, it was a conversation. I didn't say, I was laughing. We was laughing, but nobody heard but me. You know what I mean?
So it was in your head. It wasn't like it was a vocal conversation.
I mean, to me it was.
Right.
I saw a being and all that. But
that is amazing.
I think they might have been on a slightly different dimension, but you know what I mean. The nurse came in and was looking at me like, who are you talking to? And I was like, oh wow.
But when she said that, did the person disappear?
They were gone. Like, because we was chilling and kicking it, and then when I looked away and changed my
the nurse
attention,
and you looked, right,
there was no one there. There was no one there. There was no one there. That's what I was like. That last medication. Yeah, I don't think I want that one no more.
Because, bro, if it was a false memory, it would have still been there when you turned around, right? Like, why was it going? I remember I asked you, bro, because I came to visit you. I was like, bro, what's up with the dope? You was like, man, they gave me that. He's like, I'm not taking it. You was still kind of out of it. You was like, man,
yeah.
You didn't go into these details, but you was like, man, I saw some stuff. You was like, I never take. You were adamant. You was like, I never take that pill. I won't give that pill to anybody. I won't sell that pill. Yeah. Man. And you went off ibuprofen after that. It was just ibuprofen.
It was something else. It was
I'm saying that they gave you later. Yeah.
It was something that was, much milder than that. As far as I was concerned, my body could tolerate it.
Had a whole conversation. Do you know how long the conversation was? 5 minutes? You don't know, probably the concept of time.
I have no idea. It was no.
Did you remember what y'all were talking about? You can't remember.
It was life expansion. Like it was like, you got another chance here, buddy. You could,
right? Really,
do what you want to do,
really
out here, and you see how you're laughing? That's how I was laughing. Like,
wow.
And yeah.
Hey man, this is crazy, bro. Hey man, this is crazy. I remember that time though. I'm like, man, they tried to kill my dude, man. Tried to kill the god. You know what I'm saying?
Wasn't my time, no.
Hey, we're gonna give a big ups to Ninth Wonder. This track is called Honey. They're going to ding us because that's what YouTube does. They get off on dinging TATN. But there will be a time. There will be a time when they will no longer ding TATN. We got people behind us, don't we, Self?
From way up on high.
Man, ain't nobody out here naked. You know what I'm saying?
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all.
Small ups to the K3. To the KQ. All right. Bullets are boomerangs.
Stand your ground.
Murder? Well, that's suicide.
An eye for an eye.
Silence is violence.
See something, say something.
Facts. Greed plus ego over fear. I'll change this up. That's slavery. This one's Love Never Dies, Ninth Wonder. Go ahead, so.
Charity plus humility times love is freedom.
Man, I feel that. Hey, and don't answer questions, and I'm gonna explain real quick. If they're asking you questions, they don't have enough to lock your butt up. Trust and believe. Because they would lock your black butt up any given chance for any given reason. So if they're questioning you, they're not there to help. They're there to lock your black butt up and potentially your mom and your grandmom too. All right, Self, I'm off my soapbox.
You use your right. That's why it's there. Use it. It's say nothing. Not only don't answer questions, don't say nothing.
No.
But you question everything.
Man, if you open up your mouth, be questioning the questions. Don't answer nothing. Fear, well, fear is an illusion, people.
Man, we gotta vibrate love. That's how we grow and expand. It's if we vibrate love.
And forgiveness and charity, those are the highest vibrations of that love.
So, we have to be able to do something charitable for our enemy.
Think about that, y'all. Maybe go to Dunkin' Donuts, get a 12-pack of those donuts, take them to 12. You know? I just think about it. You might have an op. I'm just saying, it ain't gonna kill you. Hurt people.
So, healthy people heal people.
Free Chief Malik.
Free Larry Hoover.
Free the guys, man. Free the guys.
Man, prison is slavery. 13th Amendment. Prison is slavery.
What are you talking about? Slavery ended, Self-Love. Abraham Lincoln ended slavery.
Well, technically, his thing ended so-called slavery for slaves in the South, but it never freed the North. And we still considered 3/5 of a person as a result. And the amendment that so-called freed the rest of them said, unless you're in prison.
Well, I know Lincoln and rest up, he was quoted as saying, if he could save the Union without freeing one slave, he would.
Absolutely.
He was quoted as saying that. I mean, he's from downstate Illinois. I mean, that place isn't liberal now, so can you imagine how it was?
Yeah, it's amazing because his mother was a mulatto, according to records.